should be able to get all the information you need in one place. That's why Scott created the Retirement Decoded Toolkit, a comprehensive resource for your retirement. In it, you'll find a copy of his latest book, Escape Illinois: Should I Stay or Should I Go? This book will provide insight on taxes, Social Security, income, and more. To get your free Retirement Decoded Toolkit, text KIT, K-I-T, to 847-474-3888 or go to retirementdecoded.com. Now, in addition to the book, you'll also receive resources on retirement's most common concerns. Get your Retirement Decoded Toolkit from Scott Tucker right now by texting KIT to 847-474-3888 or go to retirementdecoded.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC. A registered investment advisor, this is a paid placement.
'Tis the season to think boating. Yes, Freedom Boat Club is the world's original and largest members-only boat club, now with 20-plus locations near you throughout greater Chicagoland, Wisconsin, Northwest Indiana, and Southwest Michigan. Plus 375 nationwide and global locations. Join Boat in Freedom's warm weather harbors now and think spring. Your membership enables access to their massive fleet of late model boats, slipped, insured, stored, maintained, cleaned, and ready for your use. Just pick the location of choice, reserve a boat, show up at the dock, and go boating. Membership includes training to enhance boating skills and comfort level at the helm. It's never been easier to give the gift of boating. Imagine the smile on the face of your loved ones when they realize they just became boaters. Joining is easy. Go to freedomboatclub.com. Find a location near you, zoom in on the map, and select the location that works best for you. That's freedomboatclub.com or call 888-781-7363. At Freedom Boat Club, boating season never ends. Merry Christmas.
Imagine what your future looks like. Is the picture a little blurry? Hey, it's Sean Thompson here for Alpha Wealth Group. When we look ahead, we're visualizing where we want to be, and for retirement, that can be hard without a written financial plan. Tom Fortino of Alpha Wealth Group can help you bring your retirement picture into focus. For decades, Tom has been crafting customized financial strategies. His goal is to help you protect your savings, grow your wealth, and create an income strategy you cannot outlive. If you're nearing or already in retirement, it's time to get your plan on paper. So bring your readers and let's take a look at it closely. Call Tom at 630-934-1855 and schedule a complimentary retirement consultation. There is no cost. There is no obligation. This is a chance to get a clearer view of your retirement. The number again is 630-934-1855 or visit alphawealthgroup.com. And listen to the Alpha Wealth Hour Saturday mornings right here on AM 560 The Answer.
Advisory services through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC, and SEC Registered Investment Advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Alpha Wealth Group, licensed in Illinois.
Are you looking for fair news coverage out of the nation's capital? Join the Center Square's Editor-in-Chief, Dan McCaleb, and D.C. Bureau Chief Casey Harper as they discuss all things coming out of Washington, D.C.
And as you said, I did a fact check on this because I really found it pretty misleading. Gas prices, yes, are down. But if you look at food prices, they increased.
No spin, just the news. Listen to the America in Focus podcast at americastalking.com or wherever you get your podcast.
Napleton Mazda of Naperville would like to invite you to come in for a test drive during the Season of Inspiration event going on now through the end of the month. Take advantage of remarkable savings like 0% APR financing for 60 months on a brand new 2024 Mazda CX-5. Save on over 700 new Mazdas at Napleton Mazda of Naperville and napervillemazda.com. Offer to qualified buyers through Mazda Financial Services. 0% APR equals $16.67 per $1,000 finance. Expires 12/31/23.
When you're looking for a caring dentist and an experienced dental staff who'll treat you like family, then it's time to call Dr. Y at Oakland Dental, LLC. Dr. Yerkes and his team will create a smile that you'll want to share with family and friends. Go to oaklanddentist.com for a complete list of services or call Oakland Dental for an appointment with Dr. Y at 708-424-5700. And for a limited time, get a $100 credit on your new account. Call 708-424-5700. Oakland Dental, LLC, for the smile you deserve.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you'll destroy your life. Listen to The Flot Line with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7. The Flot Line describes a main line of resistance in your soul built on God's Word. Listen this Sunday for inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flot Line with Rick Hughes this Sunday morning at 7 on AM 560. The Answer.
We live in a high-tech world, yet nature is so complex that it's impossible for humans to even come close to duplicating it with all the technology in the world. Witness the spectacular things we see in nature and how they should inform one's faith in the latest book by Jeff Tischler, High Tech versus the Highest Tech. This 78-page paperback book is a must-read, packed with fascinating facts and colorful illustrations, laying out undeniable evidence for intelligent design and an all-powerful creator. And High Tech versus the Highest Tech is written in a way that all age groups can understand and enjoy. Get the book High Tech versus the Highest Tech by Jeff Tischler, offered through Milk and Honey Ministries for just $9.95, plus shipping and handling, with 100% of the proceeds going to missions. And for a limited time, $1 from each book sold goes directly to Food for the Poor. Order your copy today. Call toll-free 1-800-733-9262. Also available from Google Books or your favorite online bookseller. Special rates available for schools, churches, and mission outreach.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer
Merry Christmas.
on AM 560.
Ho, ho, ho.
The Answer.
All right, good Thursday morning. Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony, you have been MIA from this station for about a month now.
A month, yeah.
What goes on?
Well,
Why do you, first of all, Black and White Radio, Saturdays from 4 to 7.
That's it.
Yes, I nailed it. But you take the month of December off.
Yes, I do.
Why? And can I get that gig?
Well, I mean, the show still goes on. I
Okay.
just take a month off.
But what do you do during the month?
It's just a time to reflect, a time to just regroup and mentally get healthy again. I mean, because a whole year of radio, and I don't do it like you guys do it, every single day from 5 to 9. This time.
It's a juggernaut.
No, but my good friend Aaron Del Mar, especially after my son had passed away.
Yes.
I did it before that.
Right, because that's what I remember. You did it before.
But I was going to stop, and Aaron Del Mar takes me around the country with him, and because he wants me to just refresh, and he pays me.
Who is Aaron Del Mar?
Aaron Del Mar, he's the guy that ran for lieutenant governor with Gary Rabine.
Okay.
He owns a company where he puts on 5Ks, half marathons. So he said, hey, why don't you just come with me, get a time to get away. For 3 weeks, he does this thing called a Santa Hustle all across the country. I think he does like 11, 12 races, 3 per week. And I go to one, preferably warm locations.
Yeah.
Like I just got back from Galveston, Texas.
You look good. You look relaxed. You look like you got kissed by the sun.
I somewhat I did. It was a little rainy down in Galveston, Texas. But I just go to get away and just refresh.
Good for you.
Yeah, and I'm refreshed. And there's been so much happening. I've wanted to come on.
I know. Don't worry.
So much happening.
We have plenty of time to talk about all of it. But also, too, I got to pick about Justin Kosick, by the way, happy birthday. How old are you now? 20. You started here
28.
You're 28.
He's a baby.
I know.
He's just a little baby.
I can say that now.
Yeah, because we're old. I'm so old. People ask me for my ARP card, but we'll get to that later. I'm demanding right now, making a declaration of Amy Jacobson that you are not allowed to take off any days ever. Because I love George Hoffman.
Yeah.
But yesterday he kept turning my radio on and off.
Yeah.
And finally I'm like, George, I have been here 13 and a half years. I know when to turn on and turn off my microphone.
I call him Hoff Daddy.
You call him Hoff Daddy?
Hoff Daddy.
I'm calling him Out the Door Daddy because I don't want that anymore. I mean, I love George personally.
Yeah.
And I love that we have the same affinity for cats and feral cats. But yeah, so what did you do for your birthday?
Well, Beth took me out to Kai's in Glendale Heights, I believe that is. I've ever since Kai's stood up against J.B. Pritzker, every birthday I say I want to go to Kai's.
Oh, good for you.
And I tell the owner every time I see him, I said, what you did during COVID literally drove me to you.
Aw,
I agree.
I just got
And he
the
comes up and he
chills.
hugs you and he gives Beth a little kiss on the cheek. He's such a sweetheart.
He really is.
What kind of, is it just American
it's
cuisine?
Steak,
Steak
seafood.
is great.
Oh, steak and seafood. Okay.
And they have
Steak is out
generous
of this
pours
world.
on the drinks. Generous
like the
pour.
big the
Generous
beta
pours.
tank kind of pour you
Generous
want?
pours, yes. It's a great, great restaurant.
All right. What did you have?
I had the steak. I get the steak every time. Can't go wrong.
All right. Now I have one more bone to pick. Who parked in my parking spot this morning?
Not me.
What me?
Who owns the
Volkswagen.
Yes, it's a Volkswagen. It's you?
No, that's not me. You know I would never do that.
Who
no,
parked
I
in my
own
spot.
a Volkswagen, but I don't own a Volkswagen.
You don't know that? Well, I slashed the tires, so whoever is there is not getting
You better
out.
hope the tires.
You darn right I am.
It's the holiday season. Everybody uses this place to park and then go to O'Hare.
O'Hare, I know.
Oh, they love
Well,
it.
if you work here, you technically you
Well, rite
can.
of passage, but don't take the good spots.
I know, but we have all this land because nobody's in this building anymore from COVID.
Go all the way up to the what? 4th floor? Go
Oh, we
up
have
there. 5th floor.
8 floors.
Well, go all the way up there.
I'm not going all the way up there.
I'm saying whoever parked in your spot.
Oh, or just one over.
Right. Don't take the edge spot.
I'm like a cat. I want to mark my territory.
Yeah.
And somebody parked in my spot. That's all right, though. But did you see the 2 buildings next door? They're getting torn down.
I did see that.
And
Wow.
Beautiful buildings.
Yeah.
Citibank building and the one next to that, they put up the fencing. So
Yeah. You know what they're putting up there?
manufacturing plants.
Oh, okay.
Similar to what's going up over there. Similar to
All
what's
around
going to
us.
pop up here someday. I mean, why do you don't need these large structures with look at how much parking space we have, and there's no cars.
These are going to turn into condos.
You think so?
Watch.
Condos or a hotel. If
Oh,
the
yeah.
Bears
You do
do
that.
come to Arlington Heights.
Yeah, I think that's
which
more-
they did purchase the land, but
More
they haven't-
money in a
Well, their
hotel.
tax, I think their tax base was $65 million. Then
Woo.
they pushed it up to $340 million.
Sheesh.
So that's why they're. But so they tore down everything at Arlington.
Mayor Johnson, right? Isn't that his name?
No, in Arlington Heights.
Oh,
that's not-
Arlington.
Yeah.
Elk
No, they're
Grove. I'm
dealing
thinking
with the
of
bigger
Elk
fishes of Cook County, not
Oof,
the Arlington Heights mayor. But anywho, all right, let's get on because we are going to be talking about a lot of things, the Trump ballot ban and what we should do to fight back for that. But first, I want to talk about Governor Abbott. Does he have cojones or what? He is doing the job of our President Biden. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636, type in DA, and then a quick comment. So the Texas governor is now, instead of busing migrants here, he's flying them in on chartered flights. A 737, and they landed at O'Hare and went to the signature room.
Biden's deliberate inaction has left Texas to fend for itself. The authors of the United States Constitution foresaw a situation when the federal government would be inattentive to states that faced challenges at their borders. And in response, they inserted Article 1, Section 10 to the United States Constitution to empower states to take action to defend themselves. And that is exactly what Texas is doing.
Sorry, that is his new bill that he signed, allowing local police officers to arrest people who enter the country illegally and then deport them. But what he's doing with Brandon Johnson, I will let Michelle Gallardo from Channel 7 explain because she does so well because she's bilingual and she gets the story done.
Video taken by Texas Governor Greg Abbott's office shows the moments yesterday afternoon when a privately chartered plane boarded some 100 migrants, many of them children, flying them to Chicago without giving the city any notice whatsoever. They landed at O'Hare's signature flight terminal around 7:15 p.m.
It certainly seems like a stand, a political stand that goes not only short in addressing the issue, but further to create more tensions, more danger, and more issues in the city.
The newly arrived migrants are for now being housed inside the bus terminal at O'Hare Airport. Among them is 35-year-old Ana Maria Giordano, her husband, and 3 young children. The people who brought us here were the first to get off the plane, and we never saw them again, says Giordano. We kept asking what was happening, but the people at the airport didn't know. They just asked us to remain calm and told us to stay inside the terminal so we wouldn't be cold. To make matters worse, Giordano had to be rushed to the hospital shortly after landing. I have 2 brain tumors, and my 8-year-old son has leukemia. They treated me wonderfully at the hospital, but brought me back this morning at 5 a.m. According to the mayor's office, CPD was called shortly after the plane landed, saying that 2 unidentified individuals who flew with the plane reportedly fled signature flight and left the scene in an Uber prior to the arrival of police. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for the governor of Texas today put Chicago on notice, blaming the city's recent decision to crack down on rogue buses that drop off migrants outside of the designated area for the new tactic, saying in a statement, because Mayor Johnson is failing to live up to his city's welcoming city ordinance by targeting migrant buses from Texas, we are expanding our operation to include flights to Chicago.
And again, it was a 737 chartered flight.
Wow.
I would have loved to have been on that.
Yeah.
And they landed and they put them in the signature room at O'Hare Airport. Wow. Now, that is reserved for the elite of this country.
I was in Houston. I mean, because to go to Galveston, we flew into Houston. On the way back to Chicago, I don't know if that was part of it, but you saw a ton
they're flying
of
them,
Venezuelans.
Yeah, they're flying them commercially or on chartered flights.
Wow.
Because what has been happening is Brandon Johnson's been confiscating the buses if they drop them off at the wrong spot or arresting the bus driver.
Yeah.
So the two dudes that escorted these 100 illegals got in an Uber and got out of time. As soon as that plane landed, like, see you later. They didn't know where to go, and they let them off the plane.
Yeah.
And those two got off and took an Uber out of there.
Wow.
312-642-5600. They're at a battle now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Because Brandon Johnson has some words for Governor Abbott.
The issue is not just how we respond in the city of Chicago. It's the fact that we have a governor, an elected official in the state of Texas that is placing families on buses without shoes, cold, wet, tired, hungry, afraid, traumatized, and then they come to the city of Chicago where we have homelessness, we have mental health clinics that have been shut down and closed. You have people who are seeking employment. The governor of Texas needs to take a look in the mirror of the chaos that he is causing for this country. This is not just a Chicago dynamic. He is attacking our country.
He's attacking our country.
Was that his "Give me your tired, your poor" speech?
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
And he's in over his head. He has no idea what's going on. And he has no idea what's going on at all these shelters. We have 26 shelters. We have 7 park districts that are dedicated to migrants. And in order to go in as an alderman, you have to have a 48-hour waiting period.
As an alderman?
As an alderman. But he's the mayor, so just go in and see for yourself. So I talked to the medical examiner yesterday about the 5-year-old boy, Carlos Martinez from Venezuela. He died. Yeah. They said he had a fever. She is telling me that, I just want to find it because I want to get this right. She told me yesterday that they're doing toxicology reports on him.
Oh, boy.
They're doing histology report on him, which looks at the cells. But she said he did not die from an infectious disease.
So what did he die?
She said, just be patient, because sometimes things are different than you think that they are going to be.
Yeah. Wow.
But Mayor Johnson went out, at that press conference. That's why he held the press conference to, tell the family he's sorry for their loss, which, yes, we're sorry for your loss.
Right.
And the boy is a cute little boy.
I saw the picture.
We have, 65 kids under the age of 17 who've died from gun violence on the street. Did he have a press conference for any of them?
No.
Did he
Doesn't
say
fit the
anything?
agenda. Doesn't fit the. But I mean, wait. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? He's focusing all the pressure on Governor Abbott, but who's allowing them in? Biden and his administration. There's no conversation about that. I don't get it. I mean, you are a sanctuary city, and you're loving. You had an opportunity to change that, and you struck it down.
There still is an opportunity.
Correct.
And they don't even let it appear on our ballot so that we citizens can vote.
That's what I mean.
But I just love what Mayor Abbott said. Because Mayor Johnson is failing to live up to his city's quote-unquote welcoming city ordinance by targeting migrant buses, we are going to expand our operation to include flights to Chicago.
Wow.
O'Hare and Midway Airport.
He's doubling down.
Yep, good for him. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, why we fell in love with Trump in the first place. But now let's head into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott. Good morning, Mike.
5:32 on AM 560. The Answer. 38 degrees this morning. The Senate is adjourning for the year without a deal to fund Ukraine and its military in its war against Russia. Ryan Schmelz is on Capitol Hill.
The closed-door meetings will transition to remote ones with the Senate in recess until the new year.
Every day has gotten better than the day before in terms of working towards a resolution.
Independent Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema is part of a group that includes Republicans, Democrats, and Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who are trying to find a compromise on changes in policy at the southern border. Republicans have made it clear they will not pass President Biden's emergency spending package that includes billions in aid to Ukraine and Israel unless there's changes in border policy. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The Senate will reconvene on January 8. The Israeli military says they have found tunnels under Gaza City leading directly to the houses of senior Hamas officials. Antony Blinken is now defending the U.S. position on the Israel-Hamas war, and our reporter Mark Mayfield has more from Washington.
During an end-of-the-year news conference, Blinken said that Israel has a right and obligation to defend itself against the militant group in Gaza. Israel and the U.S. have faced international criticism for resisting calls for a ceasefire as the civilian death toll rises. Blinken said while everyone would like to see the conflict end as soon as possible, it can't end with Hamas remaining intact with the capacity to attack Israel. He also questioned why the international community isn't demanding that Hamas lay down its arms and surrender. I'm Mark Mayfield.
The military claimed Wednesday that some of those tunnels discovered are 60 feet below ground, have electricity, plumbing, and surveillance cameras. Israel says the tunnels were used by senior Hamas officials for protected daily movement under Gaza City. A storm packing a lot of Pacific moisture will dump heavy rain from Southern California to Arizona from now through the end of the week. The heaviest rain likely to hit L.A. The social media platform X is back online after a global outage. Over 70,000 U.S. users reported issues early on Thursday, as did users in Canada, Britain, France, and some other countries. 4 people face murder charges in the deaths of 2 teens in Glenview in August. Authorities say officers found 16-year-old Jose Guzman Esquivel and 19-year-old Carlos Esquivel with gunshot wounds in the 14,000 block of Michael Todd Terrace back on August 19. Community members remembering a 5-year-old boy who died at a migrant shelter in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood over the weekend. Social worker Britt Hodgen.
And we're here for a preventable death of a 5-year-old child because the favorite staffing people who are inside the building next to us did not know how to respond to a medical situation. Favorite staffing is receiving millions of dollars in private contractor money to provide care, and they are not meeting the mark, and we want them gone.
The mayor's office says the child suffered a medical emergency at the shelter Sunday. Texas Governor Greg Abbott confirming that his state sent a private chartered plane carrying illegal migrants to O'Hare. More than 120 migrants were on board the flight that landed Tuesday night. Mayor Brandon Johnson reacted on Channel 11 Chicago Tonight.
The governor of Texas is determined to create chaos throughout the entire country. And this is after the city council passed an ordinance that I put forward to provide more structure, to provide more calm and some more coordination with how buses are arriving in the city of Chicago.
Abbott's office releasing a statement saying that since the mayor is failing to live up to his city's welcoming city ordinance by targeting migrant buses, they're expanding their operation to include flights to Chicago. The flights are very similar to ones used by the Biden administration. The Bulls have won back-to-back games in 3 of their last 4 following a 124-108 victory over the Lakers here in Chicago. College hoops last night, Northwestern a win over Arizona State, 65-46. The news is a service of the Fireplace and Chimney Authority, Chicagoland's largest and most respected fireplace and chimney company. Call to schedule your appointment today, 630-279-8500. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager struggles with today's schools.
Why would you send your child to a school that says you are wrong on an exam if you say men cannot get pregnant? Those who say they can't are lying. They're lying. I mean, if that is not a lie, lies don't exist.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Charlie Kirk at 1 on AM 560. The Answer.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food for thousands of children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food costs.
Food for the Poor is working with local partners to make sure these children and their families get the food they need to survive. And guess what? Your business can be a part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor Business business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And thanks to a generous match, that donation will help feed more than 30 children for an entire year.
When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
Call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com and click on the Give Food banner.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a multi-state PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group, as well as other teaching hospitals around the nation. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 25-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call now at 800-533-6605 for a free consultation. For 16 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and a Christian-owned company. Don't get stuck in the endless cycle of payments. You have the right to get your debt resolved and substantially reduce your monthly payments. Call Christian-owned Total Financial Freedom now at 800-533-6605. That's 800-533-6605. 800-533-6605.
The holiday season is right around the corner. Give the gift that's hard to wrap but easy to give. Give them a Steel. Visit your local Steel dealer or go to steelusa.com/gift guide.
541. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. The Eisenhower inbound, big trouble spot this morning. 42 in from 390 to the old post office. You're jammed up Wolf Road all the way through the avenues, all the way to 17th due to an accident now blocking two left-hand lanes. Bishop Ford, disabled vehicle, right shoulder inbound between 111th and the Ryan merge. Lake Bluff, good news, 41 southbound between Washington and Route 60 has been reopened after an earlier accident investigation that started at 1 a.m. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast, mostly cloudy. Afternoon shower can't be ruled out, high 44. Currently 37. Your next news update at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. America First with Sebastian Gorka, weekday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
All right, quickly, before we move on, I just did want to bring this to your attention. This Congresswoman, Jasmine Crockett out of Texas, she's calling what Governor Abbott is doing murder. She literally called him a murderer.
When you look at somebody like Greg Abbott, my governor, and his solution is to basically say, hey, we're going to kill people that are trying to come in.
Can you believe that?
How is he doing that? Explain to me.
He's not. That was her response to this new law that he put in place where local law enforcement can arrest and deport people who come into this country illegal. Now, the ACLU has filed an injunction, so now it's tied up in court.
Oh, they're back?
Oh, yeah. They're
back now?
Yeah, they're back.
Oh, where were they for COVID? They were nowhere around, but now they're back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, I get it.
I know I have a family member who sends them Christmas cards every year just to flood their mailbox.
Yeah. Our liberties, our civil liberties were violated all through COVID.
312-642-5600. We're here all morning long, or you could text us at 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment. Do you have our text line up over there? Or over here?
It's up.
Okay, because I can't read.
What, you can't move it?
Look how far away my screen is. And it's
wow,
little
that's
print.
so far away.
No, is it?
Well,
can you read this, John Anthony?
Wait, hold on.
No.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
Oh, wait, don't get out.
Let me put my readers on.
He's kidding. No, those are cheaters, not readers. And I get out my cheaters. Let's go to Roger on the south side. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Good morning.
Well, hi, Amy. I'm Mary to you. You'll have to pass it along to Dan next week. It's nice to see John Anthony in the studio. I like it when him and Charles fill in. I think they contribute a lot.
Thank you.
I think we're completely screwed. You know what? I'm a big admirer of Governor Abbott. You know what? Don't forget now, they started with these border crossings pretty much the day after the election, and he let people know, hey, listen, if I don't get some, we pulled federal funds, we stopped the wall, we pulled funding from the Border Patrol. We all know this is organized. The question is here, us as Chicagoans, we're looking at a long road because here we've got a mild winter thus far. Okay, and these people aren't poor or hardworking Mexican farmers that are coming up here. What we're getting, and I'm getting this, I have people in the CPD too. We're getting Venezuelans. Okay. In Venezuela, you know how they rob you? They don't come up to you and say, hey, I'm going to rob you. They shoot you, and then they just take your stuff.
Well,
You know,
we're keeping an eye on all the migrants who are committing crimes, but we haven't heard of any of that happening yet. What we did hear is 2 Colombians took a lady for a ride in DuPage County. They met her outside a store. They came here illegally on one of the buses. They were con artists.
Really?
And said, I want a lotto ticket, but I need you to give me $30,000 or $20,000 in order, that scam.
Oh.
And she fell for it.
Oh, my.
And then she came back.
Cash
Another
money.
one said he was sick and he needed money. Just completely. They're con artists.
consider the source that she lives in DuPage County, though.
Okay. Bleeding heart liberals. Well, it happens. Just
they've become.
Well, Merry Christmas to you both.
All right, thanks, Roger. Appreciate the phone call. Let's go to hold on. Joe in Naperville. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thanks.
Yeah, you know what? I can understand Trump. They get a RICO case against Trump for conspiracy in Georgia, but you have all these organizations helping these illegals break our law. Why doesn't some Texas AG or some other AG go after all these organizations? And I don't care if it's the Catholic Church or not. Go after all these organizations for fostering all this criminal activity. There's got to be a law broken there, and they need to go after these individuals and groups.
Well,
listen to this, though. Do you want to respond?
Yeah, I think with RICO, you have to have that central figure. I think the thing about what you see in the people that are in a part of these organizations and in our government, they're in those positions because they don't have to be told what to do. They're in those positions because people already know that they're going to make these type of decisions that they're making.
Right.
So it's hard to prove that RICO with that. Look at Mayorkas. I mean, they already knew what he stood. Look at Garland. They knew what he was going to do. You don't have to tell them. This is what
border
we're
secure,
let's
according to
conspire.
Mayorkas.
Right. No, please.
Please. So Allie Bradley, she works for News Nation. She's there in Lukeville, Arizona, which if any of you have driven from Tucson or Phoenix to Rocky Point, that's the entrance that you go through. I've been there several times. It is in the middle of nowhere. And she has this great video of 300 migrants just storming, like she's standing there and they're storming around her.
Wow.
And just running. Wow. There's like 300. But she said, so she met up with 2 migrants. One has a court hearing. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
In Charlotte, North Carolina in 2027. Mark your calendars. The other one she met was set to see a judge in Dallas, Texas in July of 2029.
Wow.
And here she is, their court cases.
Are you kidding me?
She tweeted it out. No. Prove that you have to prove that you are here because you're an asylum seeker, that something's going on in your home country or you have an abusive husband or a boyfriend. But their court hearings are years away. You think any of these people are going to show up for their court hearings?
They'll get lost in the system. I was listening to Charlie Kirk. He was live at his AmFest. He was talking to Tom Homan, former ICE guy. or ICE or Border Patrol guy, and he was
Border Patrol.
Holman was saying that people that were coming into this country, they were leaving their passports at the border. So how do we know who these people are
Just
that are
dropping
just
them?
dropping and leaving their passport, any identification? They were leaving it behind at the border. And Holman said they found so many passports. I mean, and not just people from Mexico, Venezuela, but people from China, people from India, people from some of the
Haiti,
the
Nigeria,
the terrorist-sponsored
Senegal,
countries,
yep.
Yemen, and all.
Yeah.
I mean, come on,
they've captured 138 known terrorists.
Yes.
But that's captured.
Yes.
The rest have gone through.
Well,
But
he
they
said
could
the 1.8 million getaways.
Right.
I mean, the gotaways. I mean, we don't know who are. We simply don't know who's in our country. And I fear, and I've been steaming. I've been ready to talk about this because we don't know. We're gonna get hit because I think those Manchurian people are in our country and they're just waiting for the signal or waiting for the call to attack this country. And it lies at the feet of Joe Biden and all these Brandon Johnsons and people like them. And I fear if we're not aware of what's happening, we're going to get hit, and we're going to get hit hard.
Well, the FBI said there's an alert this
Yeah.
holiday season to be prepared. Oh, so what does that mean? Be prepared for a domestic terrorist attack?
Yeah.
From our enemies overseas. Let's go to Joe in Hoffman Estates. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning, and John, welcome back out of your sabbatical.
Thank you.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, you said the lady had 2 brain tumors and her son has leukemia.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that just 2 people? What do you think the tax bill is going to be to the people of Illinois for the thousands of people that have this and have medical issues? Just that alone is just enough mind-boggling.
I caught that too,
Thanks,
Joe.
guys.
When she said that, I thought, oh, that's hundreds of thousands. I mean, my son had his brain tumor removed. That bill is 6 figures.
Woo.
I mean, you have to have, it was a 9-hour operation with 3 different surgeons.
Oh, my.
So you have to have
Yeah.
medical insurance
Yeah.
or you'll lose your home and your
And they'll
used
never have to pay
minivan.
it back.
Pardon?
They'll
Oh, yeah.
never have to pay that back.
No, not at all. Bob in Buffalo Grove, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Good morning, Bob.
Andy, and also to you, John.
Hey, Bob.
We ought to rename the program Black and White.
Well, I'm blackish, so I got a little white in me too, Bob. So.
Bob, and I'm Swedish. So the issues are here.
Black and ish.
Now, Merry Christmas to both of you. January 21st, 2025. Trump has said first thing he's going to do is at the border. Next thing he's going to do is drill, baby, drill. He offered a third thing that he has said he plans to do. Deport all the migrants. I'm just wondering if he actually follows through on that, what's going to be the reaction?
Yeah.
And I
mean,
see
he also
a real
said,
insurrection.
well, he also, thanks, Bob, for the phone call. He also said that he was, going to go after Hillary Clinton. But then when he got into office, he left her alone.
Yeah.
He can't be like that because they're not leaving him alone.
I don't think he's going to be like that. I think he's going to come full charging, as he should.
But I just don't know how he's going to process all these people.
Yeah.
I mean, where the 5-year-old boy died, there's 2,300 people, and it looks so shady from the outside.
Yeah.
And this lady that runs a food pantry, the Pilsen Food Pantry, which is across near the shelter, she said the food is awful. They all come over there to get clothing and blankets and food.
Yeah.
So aren't our tax dollars providing that? I don't know. We did a disservice by telling them it was okay to come here. President Biden.
Who he puts at DOJ is going to be key and crucial, in my opinion. We're going to need somebody that understands this fight that we're up against and somebody that's not going to be afraid to make some of those tough, hard decisions.
Well, just send a message. I mean, December, when I lived in El Paso and Tucson, December, real quiet for illegal crossings. I mean, like maybe one or, honestly, it was like 1 or 2 because the desert's cold in the wintertime. People just don't cross that.
Yeah.
No. Just send the message that the border's not open because they'll get the message. They're not going to bother to risk their lives and give a mule $7,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 to bring their family up here.
Right.
And also, too, Brandon Johnson, when he said they're coming here without boots and clothes, everyone that I saw got on that plane from El Paso to Chicago had on boots, a winter coat, and a hat, and always an iPhone. Always an iPhone, no matter where
Amy,
anybody lives.
I got a question.
Yes.
Have we checked to see if the prisons in these countries have been completely emptied out, and they're sending all
I know
the
there's
worst
one
people?
division of Cook County. I think.
No, I'm
it's
talking about
empty.
in these countries, like Venezuela. We have so many Venezuelans here. How do we know that they didn't just empty their prisons and just send us the worst of the worst to come to our country? We can verify.
We're not vetting any of these
That's
people.
my point.
And they're lining up like they just ran the marathon. They give them these Mylar sheets to wear, and it looks like a long TSA line at Denver Airport.
Yeah.
They had 12,500 cross in one day on Monday. We set a record for illegal crossings. Can you imagine? That's the size of a small town, 12,500.
Where are the Republicans? I haven't been really paying attention to news. Have they literally? Been
It's
coming
the
out
holiday
against this?
side
I don't care.
time.
Guess what? Terrorists don't take breaks.
They don't.
People that want to see the ill and the destruction of America, they never take a break. We do. And that's going to be the downfall of our country. We have to be aware of what's happening.
It's not if, it's when. Let's go to Daryl on I-55. Good morning. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, good morning. It's so good to hear you guys and talking about this. I lead a not-for-profit in Honduras. Been doing it for about 12 years, and I was there for a retreat this weekend with my team, and I was in Sigua de Peque. There are like 20 buses at restaurants and stuff, and all of those buses they don't have just Hondurans. They have Africans, people from China. I saw a bunch of buses and all ready to come up, bring people up here, and really nice charter buses. It's crazy.
Well, that's what they pay. They pay for that. All right. Thanks, Daryl, for the phone call. Appreciate it. Let's go to Rich in Indian Head Park. Hi, Rich. How are you? Love Rich.
Good. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, John. Nice
Good morning.
to hear you again.
Petchy.
How are you?
He does sound like Joe Petch.
That's my nickname for him, Joe Petch.
Okay. What's on your mind, Rich?
What I wanted to say is everybody in the country is blaming Abbott for trying to do the right thing, and even calling him a murderer. Now, if you look at it, Biden is the one that caused all of this to begin with, and nobody really holds him responsible for any of this. It's amazing that nobody holds him responsible. And for people to call Abbott a murderer, what about the 3 coming across the border? Shouldn't everybody be calling Biden a murderer? We're losing all of these people, and nobody's saying anything about this.
Thanks, Rich.
And that's really about it. And before I go, I'd like to wish you a Merry Christmas to you and your families.
All right. Thanks, Rich. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll be here for a big festive Christmas party.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
I want Christmas. Just give me plain baby Jesus lying in a manger. Christmas.
On AM 560, The Answer.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food for thousands of children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food costs.
Food for the Poor is working with local partners to make sure these children and their families get the food they need to survive. And guess what? Your business can be a part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And thanks to a generous match, that donation will help feed more than 30 children for an entire year.
When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
Call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com and click on the Give Food banner.
This is Mark Curran. For over 30 years as a prosecutor and a sheriff, I've spent my entire career fighting for the injured and most vulnerable. And I continue those efforts now as a trial lawyer. Many of the lawyers I face in the courtroom today are on the side of the abortion industry, as well as many other intrinsic evils. Martindale-Hubbell, the agency that rates attorneys, has given me the highest rating for both ethics and ability. I'm a former county, state, and federal prosecutor, as well as a 3-term sheriff. I'm also the host of the popular program Cross-Examination on Catholic Radio. You want a trial lawyer with the highest credentials and ability who will not support the evil agenda destroying America? Then call me at 847-721-3189 or go to markcurranlaw.com. That's Mark Curran, C-U-R-R-A-N, law.com.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. Recent reporting in the Washington Post notes that President Biden is frustrated by his dismal approval ratings as well as low poll numbers that show him trailing former President Trump. The president's irritation is understandable, but his problem isn't easily fixed. Happy talk about falling unemployment and slowing inflation mean nothing when voters are convinced Biden's policies have hurt them personally. Worse for the Biden campaign, presidential re-elections are referendums on an incumbent. A typical strategy would be to enhance Biden by driving up negatives on an unknown challenger. But Biden's likely opponent is a well-known quantity who survived every attack launched at him and still outpolls Biden. It all points to an election year likely to be marked by chaos driven by left-wingers desperate to keep Trump from the White House. Buckle up for a bumpy 2024.
The Pepperdine Graduate School of Public Policy, for those considering careers in politics and policy.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the Trump ballot ban, and maybe we should take Joe Biden off the ballot in places like Texas.
Do it.
We'll discuss, but now let's head straight into that newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
4 charged in a Glenview double homicide. And a win for the Bulls over the Lakers. WIND Chicago News Time, 6.
He's still the Republican frontrunner by far. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The day after a Colorado court kicked former President Trump off the primary ballot there. A new Fox Business poll taken before the ruling gives him a big lead in Iowa ahead of the first contest there in January.
Our latest survey of Iowa Republican caucus goers shows Trump at 52% support. His 34-point lead over Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor DeSantis has bet everything on Iowa. So far, his efforts appear to be coming up short. Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley now at 16%, Vivek Ramaswamy at 7%, and former Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey, who's not actively campaigning here in Iowa, sits at 3%.
Fox's Mark Meredith in Des Moines, emboldened by that Colorado ruling. California's Democratic lieutenant governors urging state officials to try to kick the former president off the primary ballot there, citing a Civil War-era constitutional provision the court ruled is a Trump disqualifier for inciting an insurrection in the January 6th Capitol riot. President Biden said while in Wisconsin,
"You saw it all. Now whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection."
Though there is no insurrection charge in the Trump election indictments, his campaign vows to appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, calling the ruling undemocratic. Sirens are wailing in Israel as Hamas keeps firing rockets.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is a massive barrage toward Tel Aviv, and you're going to continue to hear these explosions overhead.
That's Fox's Trey Yingst just minutes ago.
Each time one of these rockets is intercepted, you have shrapnel raining down into the city below.
Now, this is the war rages in Gaza. Israel's uncovered a new Hamas command center underground amid talks in Egypt and at the UN to try to stop the fighting with another ceasefire to get more hostages out and aid to civilians in. For the 102nd time since the war broke out, American forces have been targeted in the Middle East, but a rocket fired by Iran-backed militants missed an airbase in Iraq. America's listening to Fox News.
38 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 4 face murder charges in the deaths of 2 teens in Glenview back in August. Officers found 16-year-old Jose Guzman Esquivel and 19-year-old Carlos Esquivel with gunshot wounds back on October 19. Following a brawl between Esquivel and Carlos Miranda and a juvenile shot and killed the victims outside of an apartment complex. No one is in custody after a security guard was shot and killed on Chicago's South Side. It happened yesterday in the Chatham Village Square Mall parking lot in the 700 block of East 87th. Community members are remembering a 5-year-old boy who died at a migrant shelter in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood this past weekend. Social worker Britt Hodgen was one of many who gathered outside the shelter last night.
This was a preventable death. This was also a predictable death. And people told me, multiple people, that this family was told that if they go in an ambulance, that they're going to have to pay $1,000. I ask any of you with a child in your life if that's acceptable feedback.
The mayor's office says the child suffered a medical emergency Sunday. Texas Governor Greg Abbott confirming his state did send a private charter plane carrying illegal migrants to O'Hare. More than 120 migrants were on board that flight that landed Tuesday night. Mayor Brandon Johnson reacted on Channel 11 Chicago Tonight.
The governor of Texas is determined to create chaos throughout the entire country. And this is after the city council passed an ordinance that I put forward to provide more structure, to provide more calm and some more coordination with how buses are arriving in the city of Chicago.
The flights are similar to ones used by Democrats and progressives in the Biden administration. A Jewish advocacy group will air an advertisement during this weekend's Northwestern and Utah Bowl game following claims that Northwestern University has not been proactive about speaking out against anti-Jewish hate.
Northwestern University endorsing anti-Semitism.
The group Alums for Campus Fairness created that television ad along with print and social media ads calling out Northwestern University and its president Michael Schill over concerns of hostility on campus aimed at Jewish students in the wake of the October 7 Hamas terror attacks. In a statement, Northwestern University denies the claims. The Bulls have won back-to-back games in 3 of their last 4, following a 124-108 victory over the Lakers here in Chicago last night. Head coach Billy Donovan.
For a long period of time, I'm not so sure that he was ever right. So when you look at his shooting numbers or his finishing numbers, some of it may have been due to what he was dealing with and trying to fight through.
Donovan saying Zach LaVine has not been healthy but is getting better and will help the Bulls as they host San Antonio tonight. The news, a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where membership has its privileges. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. A check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Jordan Peterson is coming to Chicago, and AM 560, The Answer, wants to send you. See Jordan Peterson live at the Chicago Theater on Monday, February 12th on the We Who Wrestle with God tour.
What does it mean to wrestle with God? And I would say, well, that's what we all do.
Tickets are on sale now, but if you enter before January 2nd, you'll have a chance to win a pair of tickets. Go to 560theanswer.com/Peterson. That's 560theanswer.com/Peterson.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food for thousands of children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food costs.
Food for the Poor is working with local partners to make sure these children and their families get the food they need to survive. And guess what? Your business can be a part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And thanks to a generous match, that donation will help feed more than 30 children for an entire year.
When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
Call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com and click on the Give Food banner.
Everybody needs an edge. The other guy is working on his edge right now, whether you have one or not. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low historically, and individual T levels in men decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called CHOQ, CHOQ. 100% natural herbal extracts with game-changing effects on your energy, mood, and focus. CHOQ Daily's main ingredient has been clinically studied to boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity with higher T and a massive boost of energy by taking CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack every day. Take the 90-day CHOQ Challenge and reap the benefits of the reigning champion of natural men's health with CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack. For a very limited time only, CHOQ, CHOQ, is giving our listeners a 30% discount with promo code USA. That's CHOQ.com, code USA, for 30% off while supplies last.
Hi, my name is Peg.
I'm a wife, mother, and grandmother. I love being with family. We have so much fun doing things together, and that is really the priority of my life. Family is so important to me, and I want to stay healthy so that I can continue to do the things that I enjoy doing with all of them. I try and exercise and eat well, and balance of nature just helps me to put it all together and take me over the top. I really am happy that I came across it, and I've been taking it for probably 5 years, and I will continue to take it. I would recommend Balance of Nature. It's so easy to do every day. I feel great, and who doesn't want to feel great?
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off plus a free fiber and spice supplement as a preferred customer by using discount code Chicago.
6:09. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time will start right now in Palatine, where there's an accident at Wilkie and Rand Road. I-80, bad rollover accident. Right on the exit ramp, the off-ramp to Larkin Avenue, that's westbound I-80 being impacted. Jane Addams, I-90, the toll road eastbound. Just after Bartlett Road, bad accident being approached right now by emergency crews. And the Dan Ryan Express lanes all jammed up this morning inbound between 35th and the Stevenson. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
Mostly cloudy today. Can't rule out a shower this afternoon. The high today, 44. Rain and drizzle tonight, low 40. And then periods of rain tomorrow, the high 45. Drizzle Saturday morning. It'll be cloudy and mild otherwise. The high Saturday at 49. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560. The Answer.
At 6:10, it is time to call Permaseal, 800-421-7325. And time to check those temperatures this morning. 37 at O'Hare, 39 Midway, 35 Aurora, 37 DuPage Airport, 39 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answers starts next on AM 560. The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer
Merry Christmas.
on AM 560.
Ho, ho, ho.
The Answer.
Good morning, Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony in for Dan Proft.
Hey.
John Anthony of Black and Right Radio, which can be heard Saturdays here at AM 560 from 4 to 7 p.m. Are you going to be on the show this weekend, or are you going to continue your
Christmas.
sabbatical?
It's Christmas.
Oh, that's right.
I would dare let somebody work on it.
No.
Well, I don't. But I don't. Anytime there's a holiday, I don't do my show because I'd rather the people be with their family than be on a holiday, spending their holidays.
Good for you.
Yeah,
you're a good man.
I try to be.
All right. So, as you guys know, in case you're living under a rock, President Trump has been kicked off the ballot in Colorado, ruling a 4-3. Citing, the insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment, Section 3. The problem is he was never convicted or even charged with insurrection. And what are the names of those four liberal judges that's like looking at them? They smell like hemp.
You trying to say they high? They were high?
No, they're
Because
just
they got
crunchy,
high.
earthy
Melissa
progressives.
Melissa Hart, Monica Marquez, William Hood III, and Richard L. Gabriel.
Okay. Well, obviously, President Trump is going to appeal this. And
Of course.
I have a feeling that the U.S. Supreme Court is going to be a 9-0 ruling, 9-0 ruling.
Kataji, I don't know. She may rule against him.
Oh, that's who you think?
Yeah.
What about Sonia Sotomayor?
No, I mean, she's been. Have you
She's
been
pretty
reading some of
reasonable.
her dissents, and she's not as radical as I thought she would be.
All right. Well, Senator Chris Coons reminds us what this 14th Amendment, Section 3 is.
I'll remind you, this provision of the 14th Amendment was written to prevent those who were part of the Confederacy who took up arms against the United States in our Civil War from returning to federal elected office. But there was a finding by the court in Colorado looking at the evidence that former President Trump participated in an insurrection. I was here on January 6th.
He didn't participate in an insurrection. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. You can text us at 36, then type in DA, then a quick comment.
Can I break down what an insurrection is? Do you recall what happened in Afghanistan?
Yes.
How the Taliban, they had weapons, they went in and they took over the country. That was an insurrection. What happened on January 6th was a riot. You had FBI there causing a lot of the ruckus. And with all these
You mean
videos,
FBI informants?
informants.
Then you also had Capitol Police who were letting people in, which was so bizarre to me.
Tariq Johnson, former lieutenant. I'm talking to him on Twitter right now. He talks about the second in command, a black woman who he says was all about the coup. He said this was a coup, and she was leading the charge. I'm trying to get him on my show for the new year. He's going or a Sean Thompson show because I'm filling in for Sean Thursday and Friday. I'm going to try to get him on the show, and I want his story out there.
Oh yeah,
he's a former lieutenant.
And we can follow him on Twitter.
On Twitter, I'll get his Twitter, but hopefully he comes on the show on Sean Thompson's show.
Well, this coup to take Trump down. I mean, there's still 12 other states out there, including California. Now they're looking into possibly getting Trump kicked off the ballot.
Yeah.
So this could open the door to a floodgate.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, Minnesota was very progressive. They're like, there's state Supreme Court said, we're not touching this. We're going to pass. It's so bad that former governor of Ohio, no fan of Trump's, is saying, what are you doing?
But this is just, pure partisan, ridiculous stuff here. I've had to say what I've said about January 6th, and apparently there's been a couple places in the United States Senate where they took a look at whether he should be convicted. He wasn't. I think Jack Smith didn't move forward to indict him on this. But look, you've got a partisan court, all Democrats, and they barely could say that he should be disqualified. And think about the precedent of this. I always worry about that. I worry about the fact that, I've told you this before, you do this to me and then I do this to you, and this just goes on and on and on. And I just think this case it's not going to hold up. And it has a significant, if it were to hold up, you tell me what we're looking at in terms of the future decisions being made by partisans, partisan judges that tell somebody who should be on the ballot and who shouldn't. And frankly, I know there are probably a lot of Democrats excited about this, but I got news for them, or some advice for them. Why don't you figure out how to beat Trump? That would be the more important decision.
And when they asked President Biden about this yesterday, I mean, first of all, he said, oh, it's the court's decision. And then she said, Mr. President, is Trump an insurrectionist? And then that lured old grandpa to the camera to answer the question.
Trump an insurrectionist, sir?
Well, I think certainly they're self-evident. You saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection. There's no question about it. None. Zero. And he seems to be doubling down on about everything.
Anyway, I got to go have my job.
You ever notice how the courts, but when abortion, the courts were radical. The courts shouldn't be and should have made that decision. But with this, it's the court's decision. You see how
what
they
he should have said is the courts will decide, but regardless, I'm going to beat him.
Right.
Be a man, stand up for yourself. Right. Instead, he's a doddering old fool.
Right.
And you say, of course he's an insurrectionist.
Right.
No, he hasn't been charged with insurrection. So we have a plan.
Uh-oh.
And I love this because there's a stay until January 4th. But why wait? Let's get on this now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get Biden kicked out because he's an insurrectionist because our border is under attack, and none other than the lieutenant governor of Texas, Mr. Patrick.
He's an amazing guy.
Oh, yeah. He was on Laura Ingram's show with a plan.
Maybe we should take Joe Biden off the ballot in Texas for allowing 8 million people to cross the border since he's been president, disrupting our state far more than anything anyone else has done in recent history. And so this is so outrageous. 10,000, 12,000, 14,000 people a day crossing the border, 8 million
now,
people since he's been in office, enough to be the 12th largest state.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
312-642-5600. Do you think that's going to work?
Texas is probably the only way. I don't see Republicans having the.
Because we believe in democracy.
Yeah. I don't believe in democracy. I want the death of a democracy. I want the republic back. I made a post about that last night. I don't think Republicans have the kahunas to do something like this. I think they're weak. They're scared. they're not willing to go out and fight on this battlefield because, and they want to continue. Oh, we're the party of morality.
We always sit back and just let them
Fight.
roll all over us, right?
Yeah, take it to them.
Yep, take it to them.
Just like why are we hemming and hawing about Biden's impeachment? I'm glad we finally did the impeachment inquiry, but they started this thing. They had their shot at Trump. Impeachment. They did it twice,
right?
And they missed. Teflon Don won again. I'm saying they had an opportunity to go after him. They waited 30 months after Trump left office to start all these indictments and things of that nature.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, this
in
is
5
election
months, he's gotten
interference.
four felony charges.
Exactly.
One case out of New York where there's no victims.
Yeah.
The election interference case in Georgia, the federal election interference, J6, and then the documents case.
Exactly.
They've been going after him. This is just another way to try and take Trump down. And if you lived in Colorado right now, or I lived, or any of our listeners, and we appreciate our listeners, just empathize with them. You are in Colorado. Yeah. You love Trump, or maybe you're on the bubble. You're going to fight like hell for him now.
I am. I've told you. Day one. I've never I've never been one of those people that says, you know what, I'm thinking about somebody else, DeSantis. Yet no, I've been Trump ever since he lost that rig election. I've been with Trump since that day.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. Let's go to Antonio, who's in Bolingbrook. Good morning, Antonio.
All right. Well, the great news, like I said yesterday, I called yesterday, they can't kick him off the ballot because all he has to do is appeal. And he doesn't have to win an appeal. All he has to do is appeal and order state. But Ken Paxton or an attorney general should just go and sue these judges for them meddling in a federal election and taking a state's rights away of being able to pick who they want to be president of the United States. That would be great to see a conservative attorney general.
Yeah, I don't see how Texas is harmed by that. What would be the harm to Texas? With Ken Paxton?
It's a federal election, and Texas all of a sudden finds itself with risking a chance of them not being able to choose who their president is. If, let's just say, Colorado happens to be the deciding state. I know it's unlikely, but it's a federal election.
It's 11 electoral votes, I believe.
Number two is they meddled in our election. I guess that's now, against the law, right? Number three is these judges went against the Constitution. You have a Fourth Amendment right. And again, Trump's found guilty without being charged, without being able to defend himself. I mean, it's just...
I say it's defamation of character.
But no, they should be impeached. What they did, they broke their oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America.
Right. Well, there's a legal part to this and a political part,
Right.
and they've violated both.
Yeah, the political part is winning the day.
Thanks, Antonio, for the phone call. But some liberals, believe it or not, were celebrating this yesterday.
Yeah.
Here's a montage of their gloating.
This is not a crazy thing for a democracy to do.
It's very much like the reasoning of the conservative legal community.
The conservatives on the Supreme Court, who usually go on and on and on about states' rights, are hypocrites.
He was an enemy of the Constitution. Simply a plain reading of the U.S. Constitution.
This is not partisan. This is about applying historic principles. What do you say to the Republican candidate's argument that the voters should have the say and not the courts?
Why are you standing with Confederates who betrayed this country?
Clay in Libertyville, you are on Chicago's Morning Answer. Good morning, Clay.
Morning, John. Good morning. John, every time I talk to you, I always think of Ricky Bobby. John Anthony, you got two first names.
Three, actually.
Merry Christmas, guys.
I have three.
What's your middle name?
Demetrius.
John Demetrius Anthony.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's a mouthful, buddy. These judges should absolutely 100 be tried for election interference, meddling in a federal election. This is borderline treason on their part. They are not standing by our republic. They are not standing by our Constitution. They are treasonous people. They are going against the will of the people. Thanks, guys. Have a great Christmas.
And you know what, Amy? You notice that when the whole process of why Trump is angry and why he's being indicted because he said the election was rigged, which I believe it was rigged.
But he's an American citizen, freedom of speech.
Exactly.
He can say whatever the heck he wants.
But not one court people keep saying, "Oh, the courts dismiss it." No one would take the case.
Right.
They wouldn't even take the case. But now Colorado, their butchery of the 14th Amendment, Section 3, found it when other states. What's his name? John Castro, the guy that's running for office for president too.
Oh,
this is the guy that started all this. He's on Twitter. He's everywhere on Twitter. But I mean, not one person would touch any of the election rigging. But now they want to election rig, and cause election interference. I mean, in my mind, that doesn't compute. It doesn't add up. And no one's really talking about this stuff.
I know. Where are the Republicans?
Yes.
Besides former Governor John Kasich.
Oh, my.
But, I mean, think about it. This anti-democratic ruling could open the floodgates. There's 12 states left, and I know I said this before, but this could be the end of it. Yeah. This could be the end of it. If all of these states, California, if they fall too.
But you know what the saving grace is? Justin said it earlier during the break. Trump appointed 3 conservative justices to the U.S. Supreme Court. And I really believe that's going to be the saving grace. I really do.
Well, here's President Trump responding.
They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they're not after me. They're after you. I just happen to be standing in their way.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food for thousands of children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food costs.
Food for the Poor is working with local partners to make sure these children and their families get the food they need to survive. And guess what? Your business can be a part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And thanks to a generous match, that donation will help feed more than 30 children for an entire year.
When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
Call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com and click on the Give Food banner. All right. Been talking to John Anthony here about Balance of Nature because they also have fiber and spice, and he's showing it if you're watching us on the Signature Bank YouTube channel or wherever you can get us, Rumble, Roku. What are we on? We're on a bunch of different platforms. Facebook,
Rumble.
We're live on Facebook. Why do you like the fruits? What is it called again?
Fiber and spice.
Sorry, fiber and spice. How do you use it?
So what I do is I use my juicer to juice like lemons and apples and carrots, and then I take that, pour it into my smoothie machine with this fiber and spice and blueberries and kale.
Why didn't you bring some in for the family?
Well, I didn't want to wake anybody up. I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't want to wake anybody because both machines are very loud.
Yeah, but you swear by that? You love it?
I'm telling you, I've felt so much better because I went to the doctor. They said I was pre-diabetic.
Okay.
And when I heard that, it scared me, and I started shifting how I eat. That's why I'm looking a little slimmer.
I know
today.
you do. You look great.
Because I've been using this for about 2 months now.
Okay, and you put that
and
in
and I've run out of it.
Okay. Well, when you order Balance of Nature for the first time, you get a free, huge, and it's a big bottle of the fruits and spice, fiber and spice. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Fiber and spice.
Fiber and spice. Yes.
My energy's back. I mean, I'm telling you, my vision. I wear glasses, but even my vision has improved.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
All right. So that what comes when you order fruits and vegetables. Real food, real science, real nutrition. I take Balance of Nature because I'm not getting enough fruits and veggies on my own. And they have 31 whole fruits and vegetables. They take the fruits and veggies and they turn them into a powdered substance after an advanced vacuum cold process, which stabilizes the maximum nutrient content. So feel good that you're doing something for yourself. Balance of Nature, 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use discount code Chicago. Again, first timers get 35% off, free shipping, and a jug of fiber and spice. Be one of the cool kids like John Anthony. 800-246-8751. Discount code Chicago. or online at balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
And Doug. With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. The holiday season should remind us that faith and family are the most important things in life. And we hope that you succeed in coming together this holiday season with those you love and in the process creating some generational memories. Holidays have this magical power to magnify small things to ever greater memories over time. What a return on investment. Happy holidays.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Springfield area attorneys. 2815 Old Jacksonville Road, Suite 103, Springfield, Illinois, 62704.
Do you have a home remodeling project you'd love to get done? This is your opportunity to lock in this year's pricing with Chicago's Design Build Dream Team. Forever Remodeling is now offering exceptional savings. Simply sign on by December 31st to avoid any price increases next year. At Forever Remodeling, their expert designers and installers will turn your dreams into reality. Act now and you'll not only protect yourself from future price increases, but also beat the rush and secure a preferred spot in their schedule. Call 847-809-3355 or visit foreverremodeling.com. Highly skilled to design and build.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. They're a bank with roots right here in Chicago, and their decisions are made locally too. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
Hi, I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank. We'd like to wish you happy holidays from our Signature Bank family to your family.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality this holiday season. Visit signaturebank.bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right. Oh, by the way, you are required to sing with me tomorrow during Open Mic Friday.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that's at the bottom of your contract.
Can I do it like this? Sing
Yeah.
like
What song do you?
I don't know. I told you, deck the halls.
All right, deck. Are you ready?
No, we said tomorrow. No
Well,
no
we have
warm-ups.
to practice.
No warm-ups.
Well, we're going to practice, right?
Yeah, tomorrow. We can practice tomorrow.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, is it a personnel problem or a system problem? What to do with the Cook County State's Attorney's Office? We have a choice to make. Bob Fioretti joins us at 6:36. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott. Mike Scott, will you sing with me?
Depends on my voice.
Your voice?
It's been going bad. So it's that cold and flu season.
Oh yes.
And
don't forget to mask up and get your vaccinations.
6:31 on AM 560, The Answer. And this morning, Colorado Republican Party is hitting back at its state Supreme Court for the decision to keep former President Donald Trump off the 2024 state primary ballot. Colorado GOP Chairman Dave Williams says he wants to use a caucus system now rather than a primary election if he has to. Colorado's Supreme Court deciding on a 4-3 controversial vote that Donald Trump, in their opinion, violated the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban. Yesterday in Milwaukee, President Biden said he believes Donald Trump is an insurrectionist.
You saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection.
In a 4-3 party line vote, the Democrat-controlled court said Trump violated that insurrectionist ban. Biden says he believes there's no question of Trump's support. Trump has not been charged in connection with any of the rioting, has been charged, but has not been convicted. The president didn't weigh in on the Colorado Supreme Court's exact decision. The U.S. is agreeing to a prisoner swap deal with Venezuela. Savio Wright was one of the 6 arriving in San Antonio this week as part of the agreement.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, free at last. Very emotional, exciting, grateful. So much gratitude for the moment, for the United States of America, for all of you, and for the opportunity to come home.
The Biden administration was forced to release a close ally of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in exchange for 10 Americans detained in that country. The 6 were brought back together, deemed wrongfully detained. Venezuela's strongman has also agreed to extradite Leonard Glenn Francis, a former defense contractor at the center of one of the Navy's largest corruption cases. The Senate has closed up shop for the year without a deal on funding Ukraine or border security. There will be virtual negotiations until senators return on January 8. In Chicago, no one is in custody this morning after a security guard was shot and killed on Chicago's South Side. It happened yesterday in the 700 block of East 87th. Family identifies him as Fontaine Harris. A Jewish advocacy group will air an advertisement during this weekend's Northwestern and Utah football bowl game, following claims that Northwestern University has not been proactive about speaking out against anti-Jewish hate.
When you have chants, intimidation, and disruption of classrooms saying from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which is a call for genocide in Israel against Jews, a delegitimization of Israel's right to exist, that's still anti-Semitism.
Alums for Campus Fairness created print, television, and social media ads, which you will be hearing this morning, calling out Northwestern and its president, Michael Schill, over concerns of hostility on campus aimed at Jewish students. Chicago's casino will soon be open 24 hours. Bally's Chicago was granted approval to expand to a 24/7 operation beginning next Wednesday. The Bulls have won back-to-back games after a victory over the Lakers, 124-108. Last night, Northwestern dominates the first half on their way to a 65-46 victory over Arizona State. The news service of Lowe's 25 days of deals right now. Get up to 50% off select tools and accessories because Lowe's knows deals every day. Valid through 12/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This year, Roland's Jewelers wants to give you the gift of jewelry for Christmas. Now through December 22nd, you can enter to win a $200 gift certificate from Roland's Jewelers in Libertyville. Just go to 560theanswer.com/jeweler to enter. Treat yourself or give it as a gift for someone this holiday season. And make sure to stop by Roland's Jewelers to see their amazing collection of fine jewelry and watches. Enter today at 560theanswer.com/jeweler.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food for thousands of children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food costs.
Food for the Poor is working with local partners to make sure these children and their families get the food they need to survive. And guess what? Your business can be a part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And thanks to a generous match, that donation will help feed more than 30 children for an entire year.
When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
Call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com and click on the Give Food banner.
I'm Dave Nissen, CEO of PKF Mueller. As a CPA firm, we have been serving our business clients since 1968 by providing audit, accounting, tax, advisory, and consulting services. We as trusted advisors go beyond what our clients hired us to do by thinking outside the box to understand their operations and industry. We want to discover ways to increase their net income and cash flow by reducing costs or increasing efficiencies. To this end, PKF Mueller provides several client value-added services through strategic relationships. Our partners are specialists and serve the same type of clients that we do and add value by reducing our clients' overall electric and gas costs, discovering inaccuracies and overcharges on utility bills, assisting in financing of real estate, and helping to reduce uncollectible accounts and bad debt expenses. To learn more about our value-added service providers and how we can assist, call me directly at 630-524-5274 or dnissen@pkfmueller.com.
Have you been struggling to find an easy, safe, and secure document scanning solution for Salesforce.com, Microsoft 365, SharePoint, or OnBase by Highland? Your struggle is now over, and it's time to get your documents and operations into the 21st century with IoT Smart Connected Scanning. It's easy to turn physical paper into digital documents and have them directly uploaded to the cloud with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. And you don't need a degree in computing or IT to make it happen. Using QR code technology uniquely configured for your specific business, anyone can set the IoT Smart Connected Scanning device up in 5 minutes or less, saving your organization money and valuable time. Remote employees can even capture documents and send them safely and seamlessly. Organize documents efficiently and securely with IoT Smart Connected Scanning from IDT. To see a demo or to order now, go to ready4idt.com. That's ready4idt.com. Use promo code SMART and receive 10% off your order. IDT, putting paper in its place.
The holiday season is right around the corner. Give the gift that's hard to wrap but easy to give. Give them a Steel. Visit your local Steel dealer or go to steelusa.com/gift guide.
6:39. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center. Time starts on the inbound Ike, where it's almost an hour now. 390 to the old post office. Through the avenues, you've got solid traffic due to an earlier accident between Wolf and 17. Ike outbound, you're jammed up 33 minutes out to 390. East Avenue to 17th is your big delay. Dan Ryan inbound right now, 20 minutes, 95th into the Burn Circle. Express jams up right at 43rd. Jane Addams, stop-and-go traffic from an earlier accident, eastbound I-90, just after Bartlett Road. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast, clouds, 43 today. It's 38 at O'Hare, 41 at Midway. And your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Always try to hold on to some hope when you live in Chicago, when you live in Cook County. But with Kim Foxx and the Safety Act, I mean, it's unbelievable. We have 90-plus people out right now this morning on electronic monitoring who've committed violent crimes.
No.
Carjackings, attempted murders, aggravated assault, otherwise known as rape. Yeah, you know, that's because that was her goal. I mean, she wants, she's emphasizing mitigation and rehabilitation rather than high conviction rates and a shift from prosecuting low-level and nonviolent crimes, and that's what she's done. And now there's no bail. Yeah. Zero bail. I wonder what the bail bondsmen are doing now. Do you know? Because that was a job. That was a profession. That was a thing. And there's no bail. So there's no need for bail's bondsmen. You're not feeling my empathy for the bail's bondsmen.
I don't think Illinois has bondsmen, do they?
Well, we don't now because we don't have bond.
Yeah.
People used to be let out on bond, and then they'd lend you money and, the whole thing, the whole racket. But anyway, so we can change the trajectory. Or can we? With that, let's welcome back to the program Bob Fioretti, former alderman for the 2nd Ward. And Mr. Fioretti, we are going through the list of offices that you ran for. I'm just going to try to get this right. You ran for mayor in 2015, 2018. You ran for Cook County Board President. You ran for Secretary of State. Is that correct?
No, not that one.
Not that one. Oh, see, we were wrong. Thanks, Quinn.
Just name them all, and you can go yes,
County
no,
Board
maybe
President.
sometimes.
Boy, I was right. Cook County Board President, right, against Preckwinkle. I think
Correct.
I've voted for you every time that I possibly can because I believe in you. So what are your chances of being the next Cook County State's Attorney, and what are you doing to try and secure that vote?
Well, I'm running on the Republican, under the Republican label, and I am in every community, everywhere I can be, raising the message of this system that is almost broken here, but I think it still can be fixed. But the question has been in the past about raising the money. And I have been cut off by the powers that be and the political ruling class about raising money. And they've made sure that they tried to put me in a corner. Yeah, I think you may recall they remapped me out of my ward.
I remember
in
that.
fact, my home wasn't even in it. And what was that all about? It was about the political ruling class continuing to make money. I mean, they instituted the remap ahead of time so Burke and Solis and parties can get the post office, the 76 acres, and a lot of other areas under their domain so they can exploit for their own pocketbooks. I mean, I feel the time is now that we need to change this system. I mean, we see you started off talking about these criminals out there. Well, you know, I'm running because enough really is enough. Our lives are becoming some sort of a script for bad movies as these punks and thugs, you know, they live out their video game fantasies in our streets. And our leadership of this county, instead of trying to, you know, arrest those, and they're shutting down the jail but to balance the budget, and they let these criminals run loose. And they do it without any regard to our public safety. And that is what we're seeing now. And I'm standing up and I'm saying it again. Enough is enough, and we need to do something. Look at all the small businesses. Look at all the large businesses that are leaving the city of Chicago because of this runaway crime effort that is underway, that nobody can be arrested here. And I've come up with 5 different points that I hope can change, and you said the trajectory. I hope it does that. And I'm the only candidate that has come up with things.
Well, what are the 5 points? Can you tell us?
Well, yes. I'm going to say to the prosecutors at 26th Street, you're going to start prosecuting crimes, or otherwise there's the door. To the families of victims, I'm telling them I'm going to fight for you, and we're going to you know, we will prosecute those responsible and those that have created these heinous crimes. 3, to the experienced prosecutors that have left this office in frustration, I'm going to say, come on back. We need you. We need people that understand the criminal system and experienced prosecutors that know this system and will prosecute the criminals. 4, to the police officers, I have your back. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to visit police stations throughout this county and tell them, you know, you bring in the crooks and we will prosecute them. And then number 5, and we see it every day in the newspapers right now, fighting corruption is really one of my highest priorities. The Cook County State's Attorney has not only the ability, but they have the duty to bring cases against corruption and white-collar crime, both political and private, and I'm going to do so and make sure that we clean up this county. Those are the 5 points. And it takes an effort of people getting out and voting in November and we can make the difference. I see no difference between the Democrats. They may talk a little bit here or there, but there's really nothing between them that really is any different.
Hey, Bob, how's it going? It's John. I forget where we just met. We were just at an event together. I forget where, and I told you I got to get you on Black and Right. But, you know, Cook County, last Republican state's attorney was Jack O'Malley. I mean, This guy got 1.2 million votes in Cook County to 800,000 by Patrick O'Connor back in 1992. How do you get beyond that scarlet letter, especially in Cook County, when I believe there's only like 100 and some thousand registered Republicans in Cook County, more independents? What's your message to that independent crowd to say, come? And I know you gave out your points, but how do you win in a predominantly Democrat county?
Well, I don't believe people are going to go blindly in the polls right now. Granted, many will, and they vote the Democratic way because that's the Chicago way. But I think they're feeling the difference. They're feeling high taxes. And the unfortunate set of facts is that people silently, and I've said it since I was first elected in 2007, people vote with their feet. And I saw it then, and I'm seeing the floodgates are open here. But we can turn the tide, and they're feeling the pressure. People are walking out of their homes, and they have to look around. They feel unsafe. They don't have an educational system that they can believe in and send their kids. We can turn things around, but it's going to require people voting for a Republican who believes in fiscal. And I have always voted this, and that's why people always thought when I was in the city council I was a Republican then, because I voted for fiscal responsibility. I voted for family values. I voted for safe streets, strong communities. I voted against 6 of the 8 budgets that I could, and one was a recession budget under Daley that was very tight, and the other one under the first one that Rahm came into, and all of them, I look back and people, if we could have gathered the support, but the power structures here in Cook County dominate, and they want to make sure that people are, in a sense, they follow their lead as they line their pockets, and the public be damned.
And Bob, and I think we just had that what you just said in the 2022 gubernatorial race. That was on the ballot. People don't feel safe. People lack of educational resources and just bad education in the city of Chicago through the fault of CTU. That was on the ballot, and Pritzker still walloped Darren Bailey in Cook County.
I think Pritzker won because of the abortion issue.
Well, yeah, of course he
that
won.
Was
as
soon as Roe v. Wade, I'll never forget.
I
died inside because I
Right.
thought, I was watching TV going,
Right.
Pritzker just won re-election.
Yeah.
And he bought the election. I mean, look what's happening out there. This political ruling structure is allowing big money. The Democrats are more of a special interest. They forgot the middle class. I grew up in a middle class neighborhood in Roseland. I'm proud of people I know from Roseland. I'm still proud of the neighborhood of Pullman and what we do down there. I'm going to tell you, we have to get together and fight, and people have to come out and vote. Whether you look at the mayoral one, they were out organized. The Vallis campaign, and he lost because he was out organized and he spent poorly. But he tried to have a message, and there was, no matter which way you look at it, the public sector unions have become the new political force here in this city and county and state.
Yeah.
And
Bob, we're getting short on time. Bob, we're getting short on time, but I want to. I mean, you see people like Mark Carter, Kay Winding, Tyrone Muhammad. I mean, these people are going viral. These black community leaders. Have you reached out to any of these black community leaders to say, hey, how can you guys help shift and change what's happening in Cook County?
Well, I have in the past, and they're part of a structure of how to reach into the black community. But my ties are deep in the black community. I'm well known. I fought for those that were wrongfully in prison, and yet at the same time, I believe in good, strong police accountability and a good police force. And I am going to be reaching out to all those folks that you've just said, and we have touched base, but we haven't made firm commitments on how we proceed. But the answer is yes.
Yeah, Paul McKinley, all those guys.
Paul,
he's
not
afraid to go in the neighborhoods.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, because there's somebody else that you're running against that is afraid to go into the neighborhoods and go out and campaign, which just floors me. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and one of the Democrats, she's afraid to go into the community. So I'm willing to walk down the streets. I'm willing to talk to the people and listen to their pain and suffering. And I doubt whether either one of these Democrats have ever been to a funeral in the black community of people that have been slain, that people have been shot and killed. I have been endorsed by mothers of who have had their sons and daughters killed in the past. This is, we are at the turning point here in this county, and this is it. This is V-Day for this county.
What in the hell do you have to lose is the question.
Right. Exactly. All right, Bob Fioretti, we're going to have to leave it there. 2-term Chicago 2nd Ward Alderman, 2nd Ward Democratic Committeeman, currently candidate for Cook County State's Attorney. Bob, where can people get more information about your campaign?
Fioretti for Cook. You can see me online there and go from there and follow me on Twitter and a couple of other of those social platforms.
All right, Fioretti for Cook. Thank you so much, and appreciate having you on. Of course, though, one thing I love about Bob is that back in 2015, this was his campaign ad when he ran for mayor. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Hot dogs, pizza, sports, and spaghetti. If you love Chicago, gotta love Fioretti. He fights for your rights on the council floor. He sponsors legislation, he does so much more. Look at the ward he revitalized. Look at the city Ron privatized. Hot dogs, pizza, sports, and spaghetti.
Okay, wait, all right, hold on. You like this one better? Hold on. All right, we have a new system here.
I like this one.
This was 2018.
Yeah, for the people and better people. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
I like this.
Are you ready? 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 Sophia ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Sophia ready? Are you 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 ready? Sophia ready? Are you ready? Are you?
This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson here. And if you're a small business owner or you make the marketing or advertising decisions for a business, then this message is for you.
Our annual Food for the Poor campaign is underway, and this year we're helping to raise money for children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean who are desperate for access to food.
Millions of people, including many children, are suffering during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food prices.
Here's how you and your business can be part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor. Just make a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor, and AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
It's the best deal in all of Chicago radio.
Just call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com/foodforthepoor.
Hi, my name is Peg. I'm a wife, mother, and grandmother. I love being with family. We have so much fun doing things together, and that is really the priority of my life. Family is so important to me, and I want to stay healthy so that I can continue to do the things that I enjoy doing with all of them. I try and exercise and eat well, and balance of nature just helps me to put it all together and take me over the top. I really am happy that I came across it, and I've been taking it for probably 5 years, and I will continue to take it. I would recommend Balance of Nature. It's so easy to do every day. I feel great, and who doesn't want to feel great?
Go to balanceofnature.com and get 35% off plus a free fiber and spice supplement as a preferred customer by using discount code CHICAGO.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-353-2973 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-353-2973. That's 800-353-2973. What do you have to lose? Call 800-353-2973. Again, 800-353-2973.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary.
January. Oil and natural gas keep going up as the chaos in Russia and the Middle East continues. Get in on the next major oil boom now and help the U.S. with your patriotic investment that can potentially pay you monthly income for up to 20 or more years. That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you're an SEC accredited investor and have at least $100,000 liquid now, you can take advantage of Encore Energy's projects and a huge write-off of taxes for 2023. Hurry! If you invest in oil and natural gas, you're allowed to write off nearly 100% of your investment for 2023. Natural gas is the fuel of the future, and it just keeps going up. Call 1-800-287-6691. Encore Energy is a major investor and experienced operator in its core area of operations. Call now and learn how to deduct 100% of your investment and create 20 or more years of potential monthly income. Call 1-800-287-6691. That's 1-800-287-6691.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. Recent reporting in the Washington Post notes that President Biden is frustrated by his dismal approval ratings as well as low poll numbers that show him trailing former President Trump. The president's irritation is understandable, but his problem isn't easily fixed. Happy talk about falling unemployment and slowing inflation mean nothing when voters are convinced Biden's policies have hurt them personally. Worse for the Biden campaign, presidential re-elections are referendums on an incumbent. A typical strategy would be to enhance Biden by driving up negatives on an unknown challenger. But Biden's likely opponent is a well-known quantity who survived every attack launched at him and still outpolls Biden. It all points to an election year likely to be marked by chaos driven by left-wingers desperate to keep Trump from the White House. Buckle up for a bumpy 2024.
The Pepperdine Graduate School of Public Policy, for those considering careers in politics and policy.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, someone's just realizing that we've lost residents 10 years straight. State Rep Sean LaFord joins us, but now let's head into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
4 charged in a Glenview double homicide. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
On the ballot in Colorado or not, he's still the front runner in Iowa. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump way out in front in the first contest state at 52% in a new Fox Business poll, 34 points ahead of Ron DeSantis. Nikki Haley's 36-point back. This Iowa voter prefers those challengers, though, telling Fox.
They could do what Trump can do, but they can do it without all the drama and the baggage.
But an Iowa Trump supporter tells Fox.
His free speech is being violated, and if that decision with Colorado goes through, it shows that Americans, this will happen to us.
Now, that decision kicked the former president off a primary ballot, an effort that Fox's Mark Meredith reports could expand.
Colorado's Supreme Court ruled he was disqualified from being a candidate. The court says Trump violated the Insurrection Act with his behavior on January 6, 2021. Now, California's lieutenant governor says she wants her state's elections office to do the same.
President Biden says there's no question the former president led an insurrection. But in the Trump 2020 election indictments, there are no insurrection charges. And his campaign will appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, claiming he did not violate a constitutional provision. Israel has shot down another barrage of rockets over Tel Aviv. Fox's Trey Yingst is there.
Hamas, 76 days into this conflict, still has an arsenal of rockets they are using to target major population centers. It also comes as Hamas has publicly rejected Israeli discussion of a possible ceasefire, saying that no hostages will be released until the war is officially over.
With another record wave of illegal border crossings, Texas's Republican Governor Greg Abbott, who has bussed migrants north, is now flying them.
This latest flight, originating in El Paso, adds 120 more to an already overwhelmed migrant crisis in Chicago. Now, Abbott's office said this in a statement, quote, Texas will continue taking historic action to help our local partners respond to this Biden-made crisis.
That's Fox's Griff Jenkins. America's listening to Fox News.
In Chicago, 7:02 is our time on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. 4 face murder charges in the deaths of 2 teens in Glenview. It happened back in August. Officers found 16-year-old Jose Guzman Esquivel and 19-year-old Carlos Guzman Esquivel with gunshot wounds on August 19. Both died before investigators learned that Esquivel got into a fight with Carlos Miranda in July. Following the brawl, Miranda and a juvenile teen shot and killed the victims. The teen, Miranda, Griselda Martinez, and Sergio Patino Jaime were all charged with murder. No one is in custody after a security guard was shot and killed on Chicago's South Side. It happened yesterday in the 700 block of East 87th. Family identified the victim as Fontaine Harris. Community members are remembering a 5-year-old boy who died at a migrant shelter in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood this past weekend.
Death of a 5-year-old child because the favorite staffing people who are inside the building next to us did not know how to respond to a medical situation. Favorite staffing is receiving millions of dollars in private contractor money to provide care, and they are not meeting the mark, and we want them gone. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is confirming his state did send a private charter plane carrying illegal migrants to O'Hare. More than 120 migrants were on board the flight that landed Tuesday night. Mayor Brandon Johnson reacted on Channel 11 Chicago Tonight.
The governor of Texas is determined to create chaos throughout the entire country. And this is after the city council passed an ordinance that I put forward to provide more structure, to provide more calm and some more coordination with how buses are arriving in the city of Chicago.
The flights are similar to ones used by progressives and Democrats inside the Biden administration. A Jewish advocacy group will air an advertisement during this weekend's football bowl game between Northwestern and Utah, following claims that Northwestern has not been proactive about speaking out against anti-Jewish hate.
Northwestern University endorsing anti-Semitism?
As you heard, the group created print, TV, and social media ads calling out Northwestern and its president, Michael Schill. Northwestern denies the claims. Chicago sports. Bulls have won back-to-back and 3 of 4 following a romp over the Lakers last night, 124-108. College hoops. Northwestern dominates the first half and cruises to a win over Arizona State, 65-46. The news, a service of Dan and Amy 24/7. Around the clock, all day, every day. Listen now, danandamy247.com. And a check of traffic and weather is on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk knows who he doesn't want to see on the Trump ticket.
We have to send a clear and convincing message. I know this might sound crazy. We have to make sure that Trump is not manipulated by people around him into picking Nimrata Haley as vice president. Kristi Noem would be fine. Nikki Haley, no way.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
Everybody needs an edge. The other guy is working on his edge right now, whether you have one or not. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low historically, and individual T levels in men decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called CHOQ. CHOQ. 100% natural herbal extracts with game-changing effects on your energy, mood, and focus. CHOQ Daily's main ingredient has been clinically studied to boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity with higher T and a massive boost of energy by taking CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack every day. Take the 90-day CHOQ Challenge and reap the benefits of the reigning champion of natural men's health with CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack. For a very limited time only, CHOQ, CHOQ, is giving our listeners a 30% discount with promo code USA. That's CHOQ.com, code USA, for 30% off while supplies last.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Lee Gifford, and I've been blessed to have a wonderful career for a lot of years. People still come up to me all the time, and they go, "How are you, Kathy Lee? How's your va-va-voom?" And I laugh with them and I tell them, still going strong, still taking my balance of nature every day and telling all my friends and loved ones to do the same. Because it's balance of nature, changing the world, one life at a time.
Celebrate Christmas with us. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first order plus a free fiber and spice supplement with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive holiday offer by using discount code KLG.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food for thousands of children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food costs.
Food for the Poor is working with local partners to make sure these children and their families get the food they need to survive. And guess what? Your business can be a part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And thanks to a generous match, that donation will help feed more than 30 children for an entire year.
When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
Call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com and click on the Give Food banner.
7:08. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. And on the inbound Kennedy, you're jammed Cumberland to Lawrence. On the Ike, you're slowed up inbound between Manheim and 17th, all due to an earlier accident. The Dan Ryan stop and go in the locals between 43rd and Roosevelt. Tri-State, due to earlier police activity, southbound 294 is jammed between I-80 and Halstead. And I-80 has a rollover accident blocking the westbound off-ramp to Center. That car is on its roof right now being tended to by emergency officials. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Steve Williams.
A cloudy day. We could pick up a shower later today, high 44. Rain and drizzle tonight, low 40. And then periods of rain tomorrow, the high 45. Drizzle Saturday morning, then cloudy and mild, the high at 49. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
38 at O'Hare, 41 Midway, 37 Aurora. Clouds along the lakefront, 39. Your next news update, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer
Merry Christmas.
on AM 560.
Ho, ho, ho.
The Answer.
The countdown to Christmas has begun. John Anthony in for Dan Proft today. Thank you. And you'll be here tomorrow too, right?
I'll be here tomorrow.
Yay.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Fun times.
Yeah, we
I love
always
when
have
you
fun.
Yes, we do. But tomorrow we're going to sing a song. Oh, boy. We're going to have to practice. Because we have to practice. We had some wonderful singers in here yesterday.
Yeah. I heard that. They were nice.
And guess how much they practiced?
A lot.
That's the practice. That's
What?
how good they were. I put them on the spot. I said, why don't you two do a duet? Because you had a soprano and a tenor. And I thought, let's make music. Let's make harmony. And they did it. They pulled it out. So.
Wait, what did Dan call you, a band leader or something?
I don't know. So have you finished your Christmas shopping yet, real quick?
Not quite. Actually, I can't say it on the radio, but
What?
Justin has something I'm going to get one of my kids.
Who?
I can't-
Excuse me.
One of my daughters.
Justin has
He has something on that I'm going to get one of my daughters.
Oh.
I forgot to get it when I was in Houston.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are we talking in code?
No, yeah, because she listens. That's,
Okay.
That's what I'm getting. You see what he has on?
what he's wearing?
Yeah. No.
I mean, what
Yeah.
he has in his hand.
Yeah.
No, Santa's going to be getting that, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yes,
Well,
yeah. All right. Well, you know what a lot of people are doing? Leaving Illinois.
Ooh.
Did you
I saw
hear?
the number.
Guess the number one state is?
Yeah.
California. Then?
Oh, the wonderful state of Illinois.
No, New York.
Oh, New
and
York,
then
then
Illinois. So
we're third now?
84,000 people leave, according to the Census Bureau, in 2023.
Oh, my Lord. And there's a
That's on
number
top of-
specific to Chicago, too, right?
I don't know about the
Oh.
well, the Illinois. There's two different numbers out there, but the Census Bureau says the U.S. Census Bureau says 84,000. Illinois policy says 32,000. Then there's another number floating around 24,000.
I heard 33.
The bottom line,
It's a lot of people.
the 10th year in a row that Illinois' population has dropped.
Wow.
So how do we stop people from leaving Illinois? With that, we welcome back to the program LaShawn Ford. He's the Illinois State Rep for the 8th District. Good morning, Mr. Ford. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. How are you?
Good. So I saw that you were quoted when you heard this number, when a reporter brought this up to you. Did you know that we've been losing people for the last 10 years, for the last decade?
Oh, yeah. And it should be noted that John will know that you'll replace him with another John in a heartbeat, so he better behave.
Oh, gosh. What's up, brother?
Yeah. How you doing, John? Yeah, I knew it, and we all knew it. But I think that we have to do everything we can to have an accurate count in Illinois so that we can receive the benefits of having a larger population. And that said, I think that we're undercounted as a state. People don't trust the system,
right,
and they don't take the census survey, which means that
so you're blaming the process instead of the people that are leaving? Because Governor Pritzker kept saying, oh, no, our population numbers are fine. Well, we lost a congressional seat. So obviously we are losing people and hemorrhaging people. And the number one reason is because of high taxes.
I think that to that point, I would say that people may still be living in Chicago and in Illinois, but they may take they may make their home address for business purposes and tax purposes in another state. And that's unfortunate.
Well, what can we do to stop it? I mean, and what? The Paul Simon Public Policy Institute's found that 47% of Illinoisans, almost half, wanted to leave the state, and that taxes are the single biggest reason. So, for instance, my mom's got a house in Tucson. Her property taxes, $1,600 a year. And you can't live anywhere. Well, and same with Missouri. I mean, ask any of your friends that live out of state, and they'll tell you, it's how did we get to this point, and how is there any chance to reel it back?
Yeah, you know what? I think wasteful spending, and you may not want to hear this, but when we talk about over incarceration and spending billions of dollars on prisons has really, really impacted taxpayers, and the taxpayers pay the cost for that. Our budgets, when we look in Springfield, we spend more money on corrections and public safety, and yet we still don't get the right return. And as a result of spending all that revenue, our state and our city doesn't benefit from it.
Well, wait, are you saying that we should get rid of people who are incarcerated, put everybody on electronic monitoring to save?
No. I knew that would spark that. But I wanted to make sure that we know that there's always been this drug war against drugs where people actually spend time in prison and in jails for nonviolent offenses, and taxpayers pay the cost for that. And that's unfortunate. I mean, I think we have to have a way for people that are struggling with substance use disorders to have treatment. It's much less expensive for taxpayers than incarceration. And it just makes sense. If we really want to cut taxes in the state of Illinois, then we have to be better stewards of taxpayer dollars.
Right. When I served down there, Sean and I, we didn't always see eye to eye, but we did a lot of good things with criminal justice reform when I was down there. And LaShawn was always one of those people you can reach across the aisle and say, hey, or he'll reach across the aisle and say, hey, I got this bill that I need help with. But LaShawn, I'll tell you what the problem is. I remember when I first came down there in 2013, and we were voting for a fiscal year 2014. That budget, I believe, was $32 billion. What was the budget passed this year? You know the number? It's 50.
Yeah, almost $60 billion.
$60 billion. So in 10 years, we went from $32 billion to $60 billion in the budget. And it's really, and he may not agree with me, but Illinois hasn't really passed a balanced budget in years because of You know I'm right
We
about that.
don't even know what a balanced budget is.
There's
but-
always a supplement. There's always a supplemental that comes after it to fix the problem of not passing that balanced budget. You know that, and I know that. But I think that's the problem. I think we've added all these new spending. It's not just DOC. It's also Medicaid. I mean, look at this influx of migrants coming to our state as well. I mean, these are just things that are added on top of, to your point, what you said earlier was all this wasteful spending, and how many redundancies are within that budget? Can we have what are those audits called, LaShawn?
We need what we need to do is budget for results, and you were a part of that commission when we were down there fighting to budget for results.
Yeah.
That's what we did it, but we don't budget for results, and I know some people don't like the fact that you talk about zero-based budgeting, but that's something that we probably should be looking at, examining whether or not people that are actually getting contracts in the state of Illinois are delivering on services.
Right.
Why would we continue to contract with people that's servicing the West Side when we continue to see crime on the rise, when we continue to see the overdoses and deaths from heroin and opioid on the rise? That's not a good business model.
No.
That's poor taxes. Man, that's poor stewardship of tax dollars.
So why do we continue to do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result? I want to see, and that's one of the things I've always loved about you, LaShawn, was you are more than willing to go against your party. I've seen you do it on a number of different times.
You will take any question any reporter asks you.
Any question.
He's the only one that
and
I've met that
answers
does
the
it.
actual question. That's one thing I've always loved about you.
I would say that it's not so much of going against a party as much as it is I'm a part of a party and I have to help lead. And I need the party to listen. That's why being in that room, I'm not going to be silent when it comes down to making sure that the Democrats hear what needs to be heard.
Right.
And things change because you have different people speaking. And that's what I think is important in both parties.
And LaShawn, how are we going to get a handle on the crime? I know I hear the talking points. Crime is going down. I'm a former police officer. There's a way you can change this UCR codes to make it appear as though crime is coming down. I've seen it. I know it happens.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? LaShawn, people are dying.
I would tell you, John, Anthony, I would say that it's important that we capture the criminals and reform them in prison.
Yeah.
I am all for incarceration of violent criminals to protect the public safety.
And we've stopped that. We can't have rehabilitation because there's no habilitation. I mean, they've literally taken out all of the programs out of there. So are you fighting to put some of those programs back in there?
Yeah, actually there's some talk about some people don't believe that we should spend taxpayer dollars to educate people that are incarcerated. And I disagree. I think we need to make sure that these individuals that's in prison that's going to return to our communities are better.
Give them a skill.
They got to have a skill because when they return, they're going to return to a life of crime or they're going to go in the workforce.
Yeah, and that's where people say that I had a liberal heart but I worked at Safer Foundation for 6 years. So I was in the minutia. I understand the issues and the problems. And when you want to cut the recidivism rate, this is what you do. You rehabilitate in prison. You help them, give them a skill. Because guess what? If you do not, they're going to come back to your community and
commit the same crimes.
Chaos.
Yep.
Yeah.
The streets, people are not feeling safe in the rural at all. And so we focus on Illinois. The best thing that we could do is have a budget that's compassionate and that is truly budgeting for results.
Well, but you were for the Safety Act. And do you think that's effective so far?
It's effective so far. And I tell you, I think that as time go on, the Safety Act has not caused our state to be more violent.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Come on. These two black dudes who put a gun to my neighbor's face, they were out on bond. Not out on bond. They were let out by a judge. It's so arbitrary because my foster son's in jail, okay, and he had a bond, and then the Safety Act kicked in, and the judge took his bond away. And so he has no misdemeanor. He has 2 misdemeanors, one for stealing food when he was living in a parking lot behind the JCPenney's, which I don't fault him for, another for a high school fight. So he's not a violent person, and they won't let it's arbitrary because that judge thinks, well, no, I'm going to exert my power.
No,
keep him
let's
behind bars.
Let's talk about the Safety Act so that people, as it relates to the bail bond system, let's have a real conversation.
Yeah, well, I'm living it, so you tell me how to process this, please.
The Safety Act, this is how it works. We know that there's no doubt that there's over-incarceration of people that should not be locked up, and taxpayers paid the expense for that.
Like my foster son. Mm-hmm.
Right. We've done away with that. Even before the Safety Act, the bail bond system was enacted and became law. We had a problem with judges letting violent people out because they had the discretion to do so. This has not changed that. What we have now is the Safety Act, where we have a system in place that if a person fails the rubrics and they come out as a violent person based on the rubrics, then they should be held. Now, let me just tell you what's important about this. The judge discretion has been taken away to a certain degree. Now, prosecutors have to recommend that the perp is held in custody. If the prosecutor fails to recommend to the judge that this perp should be held in jail, the judge has no authority to hold that person.
Yeah. So I thought the Safety Act was supposed to help the poor lady who, stole the formula for her kids and she has no money because my foster son has no money to get out. I thought it was supposed to help people like that.
I think it's helping those people, and that's why
not everyone.
County jails are not overflowing with nonviolent people, and taxpayers will see the benefits of that. Now, I want to talk to you offline about your son so that we can find out how and why he's not released. Yeah. Because
he's in a smaller county. He's in Fulton County, Illinois, and that's the problem. Because if he was up here,
he'd be out.
He'd be out for sure. Yeah. No questions asked.
The prosecutor recommended that he is detained. Yeah. That's why the judge detained him. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah. It has nothing to do with the Safety Act. The prosecutor saw that kid, and I know your story with your child,
mm-hmm.
and I know how he looks. And that prosecutor looked at him.
And the county he's in. But LaShawn, really quickly, I mean, when you look at that list of non-detainable offenses, I mean, some of those, I think you guys got to go back and redo some of that stuff because what's happening in Cook County, a lot of these people are coming right back out and committing either more egregious crimes or the same crime. But I want to talk about something.
You're right. John Anthony, let me be on record to say that we must go back and continue to work on fixing the Safety Act.
I want to just really quickly. I don't like a part of the Safety Act. Anonymous complaints now against police officers, and when you guys have worked so hard to get people who their expunged records and things of that nature, but it's like you're trying to now throw on police officers this millstone around their neck where they now have records indefinitely. I mean, you and I really miss mixing it up with LaShawn. This is how we used to mix it up in Springfield, and I love it. I miss it. But you've given now these officers these criminal records, basically, and anybody can go and not sign an affidavit, a sworn affidavit to say that I, under perjury of, basically I'm not lying, I'm telling the truth that this happened. I think that's one of the things that's leading to these police officers not wanting to do their jobs. If I was still a police officer, I wouldn't.
And it's so bad that Governor Pritzker's now letting people who are here illegally become police officers come January 1st.
Yeah,
because nobody wants to do that job.
I think you guys are. We have to look at. I mean, I think that as a black man, knowing how people have been wrongfully incarcerated and police putting records on individuals and prosecutors prosecuting and judges sentencing people that are innocent. We just saw a man spend 14 years in prison.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm sympathetic, and another man that spent 40 years in prison. So I'm sympathetic to police officers being accused of things that they didn't do. And that's why
like the rape of, they said they were raping people.
Right. So
You know?
we can't have that type of public acts in Illinois. And I'm for changing that because I'm sympathetic based on what I know those type of laws and that type of power does and how it destroys families.
All right, LaShawn Ford,
we need the police to join us in this fight.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there for today. Illinois State Rep for the 8th District.
Thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Good, brother.
Happy holidays. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer
Hallelujah! Holy
on AM 560.
Where's the Tylenol?
The Answer.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Getting a lot of text messages from our conversation with LaShawn Ford. Yeah, we have a text that says... Oh, turn on your mic. It's on?
Oh, no,
Uh-oh,
it's not.
somebody...
I'm sorry. See,
George Hoffman.
George Hoffman. I know a young woman being harassed by an ex-boyfriend. He texts me mockingly for calling police. He knows there are no consequences. LaShawn is shouting into an empty garage.
All right. Keep them coming on our text line. All right. Balance of Nature. I'm going to take it early today because you know what? I'm hungry. And when I'm hungry, I like Balance of Nature. Why? I'm not getting enough fruits and veggies on my own, and that's where Balance of Nature comes in. If you have a sweet tooth and you're trying to lose weight, chew on one of the fruit capsules. Oh, it works. I had a lady stop me the other day and say, hey, I love that idea that you gave me, chewing on the fruit capsule so you don't grab a cookie or some chocolate. The number to call is 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Discount code Chicago. You'll get free shipping, 35% off, and a jug of fiber and spice that John Anthony loves. Or simply go online to balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago. 'Tis the season to think boating. Yes, Freedom Boat Club is the world's original and largest members-only boat club now with 20-plus locations near you throughout greater Chicagoland, Wisconsin, Northwest Indiana, and Southwest Michigan. Plus 375 nationwide and global locations. Join Boat in Freedom's warm weather harbors now and think spring. Your membership enables access to their massive fleet of late model boats, slipped, insured, stored, maintained, cleaned, and ready for your use. Just pick the location of choice, reserve a boat, show up at the dock, and go boating. Membership includes training to enhance boating skills and comfort level at the helm. It's never been easier to give the gift of boating. Imagine the smile on the face of your loved ones when they realize they just became boaters. Joining is easy. Go to freedomboatclub.com. Find a location near you, zoom in on the map, and select the location that works best for you. That's freedomboatclub.com or call 888-781-7363. At Freedom Boat Club, boating season never ends. Merry Christmas.
AM 560. The Answer.
I'm trying to offer you. So we had our Christmas dinner.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous.
Yeah, in Tupperware. We had our family Christmas party early because we're all going to be gone. And I bought a turkey from Whole Foods. Okay, that was already cooked.
Food, though?
No, so then with the leftover turkey, you make turketti, and nobody wants my turketti.
That is so white.
That
is so white.
Why is this white?
That's so white.
It's a casserole.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I've never heard of that
actually,
ever in my life.
It kind of. Oh, all right. I'm not gonna. It smells.
How long has it been in there?
Well, probably a while.
Yeah, don't eat it.
Yeah, you're only
Yeah,
supposed to have leftovers, I think, for 3 days.
Oh,
No,
I would eat that.
This is day 5.
Oh, I smell it. No,
Do you smell it now?
Oh, good Lord.
Okay. All right. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, the Newsom nightmare. We'll explain, but now let's head into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
41 degrees, cloudy skies at 7:32, and the UN Security Council again today will try and pass a resolution calling for what they term a humanitarian pause in the Israel-Hamas war. The vote has been delayed 3 times because of major disagreements. Colorado Republican Party hitting back at its state Supreme Court for its decision to keep former President Donald Trump off the 2024 state primary ballot. Colorado GOP Chairman Dave Williams says he now wants to use a caucus system rather than the primary election. Meantime, President Biden was in Milwaukee, told reporters he believes Donald Trump is an insurrectionist.
You saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection.
Trump has been charged in connection with the January 6th rioting, but not been convicted of anything. The president did not weigh in on the Supreme Court's decision in Colorado to ban Trump from the ballot. The U.S. is agreeing to a prisoner swap deal with Venezuela's Savoy Wright, one of 6 arriving in San Antonio last night.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, free at last. Very emotional, exciting, grateful. So much gratitude for the moment, for the United States of America, for all of you, and for the opportunity to come home.
The Biden administration will release a close ally of Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro in exchange for the 10 Americans. Rescue teams are still searching for missing people after an earthquake rocked northwest China, killing 137 so far. In spite of what you hear on every major media outlet, today is not the shortest day of the year. There will be the least amount of daylight, around 9 hours here in the Chicago area. Winter solstice begins tonight at 10:27, marking the start of winter in the northern hemisphere. The day will still be 24 hours long. No one is in custody after a security guard was shot and killed on Chicago's South Side. The shooting happened yesterday in the 700 block of East 87th Street near the Chatham Village Square Mall. Family identifying him as Fontaine Harris. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is confirming that his state has sent a private chartered plane carrying illegal migrants to O'Hare. More than 120 migrants were on board that flight that landed Tuesday night. Mayor Brandon Johnson reacted on Channel 11 Chicago Tonight.
The governor of Texas is determined to create chaos throughout the entire country. And this is after the city council passed an ordinance that I put forward to provide more structure, to provide more calm and some more coordination with how buses are arriving in the city of Chicago.
Mayor Johnson is failing to live up to his city's welcoming city ordinance, according to Abbott, and says they're going to expand that operation, which mirrors one similar to one used by the Biden administration. The Bulls have won back-to-back games following a 124-108 victory over the Lakers. DeMar DeRozan with 27. College hoops, Northwestern dominates Arizona State 65-46. The news is a service of StarCase. StarCase will design and build custom, fit, reusable shipping containers for the safe transport of your fragile and important items. Whether it's being shipped by road, rail, or air, make sure it's in a StarCase. Go to starcase.com to learn more. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka wonders if we'll see a clean transfer of power.
They're saying President Trump will be the dictator and never leave the office. Well, he did. I was there at Andrews Air Force Base on January 20th, 2021. He got on his plane and flew to Florida. But will Biden leave the Oval Office?
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. A storm is on the horizon. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000, 630-834-6000, or charlesequipment.com.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a multi-state PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group, as well as other teaching hospitals around the nation. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 25-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food for thousands of children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food costs.
Food for the Poor is working with local partners to make sure these children and their families get the food they need to survive. And guess what? Your business can be a part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And thanks to a generous match, that donation will help feed more than 30 children for an entire year.
When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
Call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com and click on the Give Food banner.
Pluto TV is your home for the holidays. Enjoy Christmas classics, all for free. Download the Pluto TV app on all your favorite devices. Pluto TV, stream now, pay never.
7:40. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Kennedy Inn is fine, about 30 minutes in from O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. You'll hit the brakes on the Kennedy outbound between Montrose and Harlem. Stevenson stop and go inbound between Harlem and Kedzie. Dan Ryan in. You're jammed in the express between 47th and the Stevenson. I-80 stop and go traffic near an old accident site eastbound between Kedzie and the Tri-State. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Mostly cloudy. Afternoon showers will not be ruled out. High 44. Rain and drizzle and 40 overnight. 38 at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
'Tis the season for a number of book releases, and I have one for you, John Anthony. By the way, good morning. Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony in for Dan Proft, and we're waving around the Newsom nightmare, because as you remember, or may recall, he was recalled in 2021, I believe, for a number of reasons why. And one man who ran against him in 2018, who was a gubernatorial candidate, was John Cox, and then he tried again in the runoff. And here's his ad to get to know a little bit about him. big grizzly bear.
What's happened to California? What's happened to our grand state that for generations led the world in livability, in innovation, creativity, ingenuity? What's happened to our state that's forced millions to flee, when once it was the world's dream to live in our sunshine? What happened? Politics. We chose pretty over accomplished.
Pretty boy, pretty boy.
We chose beauty over brains. We chose to continue a political dynasty instead of saying, stop, this ain't working. We need to choose someone who can fix this place. John Cox was born with nothing, never knew his dad. His aunt was not Nancy Pelosi like Gavin. John did not grow up at the feet of the multi-billionaire Gettys. John Cox is like so many of us. He worked his way through college, became a CPA young, then a businessman. Started small, worked 24/7 to support his family, make something of his business. He started this campaign with his own money, trying to fix this place. He's run over and over because he knows the school of hard knocks he grew up around has given him the toughness and the skills to actually make a big difference.
No rosy promises. This will be tough. Take time. We have to do things so differently in every part of our state government. I'm a business guy running to make change. Great big ones.
That grizzly bear. With that, let's welcome to the program John Cox, former candidate for California governor and author of the new book, The Newsom Nightmare, The California Catastrophe, and How to Reform Our Broken System. Good morning, Mr. Cox. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, John.
Good morning, sir.
Great to be with you, boy. That brings back memories, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, before we get to the substance, that bear, it was like a 600-pound bear or 900-pound bear, and how did you get up? You know, you were right next to it.
It was 1,000-foot bear, Amy, and it was 7 feet tall on its hind legs, and I had to actually kiss that bear during the commercial. It was a little bit disconcerting, I will say.
Well, I mean, you had to be trained, right? I mean,
it's a bear that's been in a bunch of commercials. It's been in TV shows. It was in Yellowstone, I think. So it's a performing bear that has been raised by a trainer since it was a little cub that was lost by its mother somehow. So
wow.
It was an experience. Let's put it that way.
Well, the other big bear is
Trying to
Gavin.
get people's attention.
Yeah, well, you got people's attention, all right. Gavin Newsom, he's the big bear of lies. I mean, I'm sure you watched his debate against DeSantis, where I've never wanted to reach through the television and just shake somebody. He is so sleek and slimy with everything that he does, but there is a chance he could run for president in 2024, and if not then, for sure in 2028. So don't you think he'll bring the dysfunction of California to the entire nation if he's elected?
Well, absolutely, and that's what the book addresses. And, you know, you're living the catastrophe in Illinois with a lousy school system, with high taxes, massive spending, as you just talked about, rising crime. In California, just multiply that because electricity costs 5 times in California what it does in Illinois. Housing is incredibly expensive when you can even find it. We've got water shortages, Amy, and all these problems are all government-caused and man-made, and Gavin doesn't care about them. What he cares about is abortion on demand everywhere, gun control, which certainly doesn't work because criminals don't care about gun laws. But these hot-button issues are what the media wants to talk about generally because they agree with Gavin on those things. And this is what he'll bring to Washington, D.C., more dysfunction and failed policy. And I don't want to see it happen. I'm sure you don't either. It would be the same if Pritzker would be elected president. What we've got to do is we've got to reform our system, get the people more involved, get rid of these blow-dried, career-rich politicians and get good policy that actually does things for people and not just take their money and continue the dysfunction. Can't keep doing the same things and expect a different result.
Well, what can we do? How can you change the system?
That's what the book addresses as well. And if people can learn about the reform I'm talking about, it's called hearthepeople.org. Hearthepeople.org. You know, listen, the dysfunction in Illinois and California is rooted in the same thing, Amy, and that is the power of the media and the power of special interest groups. And in both states, public sector unions, radical environmentalists, trial lawyers, big business types, big healthcare companies, all these concerns, all these interest groups basically funnel their money to these politicians and get what they want. And the rest of us suffer the consequences. Now, how do we resolve this? We get the people back involved. We reduce the size of campaigns so that their money and their manpower isn't needed. So the specific idea I have is for the U.S. Congress, Amy. We're going to subdivide every congressional district into 100 little tiny districts of 7,500 people each. In a district that tiny, money won't matter. You can go door to door. You can talk to people at their houses, at school, at church. You can actually talk to your representative and get to know them and get interested in politics again without the media being the go-between. What happens then is that the 100 people that are elected in these tiny little districts, they get together and select the congressman that goes to Washington. The other 99 stay home. They don't get paid. They don't have an office. They don't have a pension. And they keep in touch with their tiny little district and their constituents one by one.
So there's no campaign advertising or any of that?
No campaign advertising. You know, you'll look stupid. You'll look positively stupid buying television ads or social media ads to get to know people in a district that's only got a few thousand houses. You know, you'll look stupid. And you'll look like a climber. And you'll look like a career politician. What we need, Amy, is what our founders laid out in the Constitution, and that is a people's Congress where people represent people, where they get to know their constituents, where they actually are accountable to their constituents, where they actually can be questioned about policies, where they can actually respond to somebody who asks, well, why are we doing this? Why are we eliminating cash bail for hardened criminals? Why are we giving elementary school teachers tenure? Why are we putting up with lousy teachers that you can't fire? I think, Amy, if people can ask those questions and demand answers, we have a different political system and maybe we get some results that we could be proud of and that would advance the country.
Yeah, I'm sure he's insulated by the media in California the way Pritzker's insulated by the media here in some regards,
I'm
right?
sure.
You know what, John? I actually phone banked for you in your 2018 run, all the way here in Illinois. Yeah,
you did?
He had some phone bankers here, making phone calls on his behalf when he ran.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You know, I can't imagine. You know, Obama brought the Chicago way to D.C. Can you imagine Gavin Newsom being president of the United States of America?
It makes me sick.
Bringing the California spending model to D.C. You talk about steroids, spending on steroids. I mean, we'll never have. We'll do continuing resolutions until in perpetuity because nobody will be willing to do a budget. But help me understand this. I was told that in California you have to purchase electric cars by 2035 or something like that. Has that ever been done where you were forced to buy a product? And
the government makes you buy a product.
No, you actually have that wrong, John.
Okay.
And, you know, what basically they've declared, which is almost the same thing, by the way, and that is that combustion cars, gasoline-powered cars, are not going to be able to be sold after 2035. So you're right in one sense. If you want a new car, you're going to be forced to buy an electric car. By the way, John, it's worse than that because this is a state that has decommissioned natural gas, hydropower, and other sources of energy. And every August, when it gets warm, and it does get warm in California, I assure you, we actually have to turn off, they actually want us to turn off our electric power because we just don't have enough to power air conditioning in August. And that's when electric cars only are about 10% of the number of cars in California. And we don't have the public transportation that you guys have in Illinois.
Right.
So I don't know what we're going to do when we get to 2035 and we've got to buy an electric car that you can't even plug in. And by the way, Joe Biden is the second coming of Jimmy Carter, right? I think we can agree on that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, mortgage rates are high. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember our mortgage rate was 18%.
Rent is too
It's
damn
not as
high.
right. Well, it's not as high as it was back then, but I remember high inflation. I remember we had American hostages, which we still have now, but they're not getting the same attention that the American hostages in Iran did. But yeah, it's the same. History is repeating itself.
And that would be in overdrive with Gavin Newsom, because Gavin Newsom has learned the lesson that a lot of these politicians have, and that is go along with the media, do what they want, and also make sure you curry the favor of these other groups that will fund your campaigns and give you support door to door, like the radical environmentalists, the public sector unions, the trial lawyers, the healthcare companies, and Big Pharma. I mean, it's on both sides, by the way. It's Republicans and Democrats. There's just no question about that.
Yep.
And that's what we'll end up with. And I don't want to see this country get worse. That's my whole impetus in writing this book and talking about hearthepeople.org. And I would urge any of your listeners to go to hearthepeople.org, take a look at our video, take a look at our plan, and hopefully people will agree that this is just what we absolutely need to turn this country around and get some decent policies.
Yeah, and John, I'm glad you said that, turn this country around. California surprised us with a couple of congressional seats. Is the tide turning in California? Are the people so fed up now, and they're starting to see through the minutia, the lies of these leftists that have ruined that once great state? Is California making a turnaround? And if so, can we get some of that here in Illinois?
It is actually, I think, a little bit. Newsom's approval ratings are down, and part of it is that we're now turning a 68 or a surplus. He talked about a surplus during the recall campaign, by the way, which was an absolute lie. And now they're reporting a $68 billion deficit. The chickens have come home to roost, as Mr. Obama's favorite pastor would say. We've got a huge deficit. I suspect Illinois is probably on its way to that, and maybe that'll wake people up. I don't know. The reasons are the same, by the way. You guys talked about it earlier. People are leaving Illinois because of the spending and the taxes and the bad education and the high crime. The same thing is happening in California. It's very famous. It's been written about by so many people that people in California have just given up. So that's happening now in California. It's going to happen in Illinois, and I think it's going to happen in blue states all over the country, frankly.
All right. The book is The Newsom Nightmare, The California Catastrophe, and How to Reform Our Broken System. And again, you could go to heartthepeople.org. That's HEART, thepeople.org for more information. John Cox.
That's Hear the People. That's Hear the People.
Hear the People. I'm sorry. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
See, this is what happens when I don't have my glasses. I'm so sorry, John. But we love people, too. Hearthepeople.org. Hearthepeople.org. And thank you so much, John Cox, for coming on the program. Have a great holiday season.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, John.
Take care.
Especially with you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
The Answer.
I love giving jewelry as a gift. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. I want to tell you that Roland's Jewelers is the perfect place for that magical holiday gift for someone you love. I'm always amazed by their 5-star Google reviews. I love that they're family-owned. Hey, getting engaged? Well, Roland's Jewelers has a large selection of both mined and lab-grown diamonds at great prices. Choose from beautifully crafted engagement rings from designer Simon G. or Italian designer Roberto Coin, offering stunning diamond pendants and earrings. How about a Tag Heuer watch with cutting-edge technology? Listen, I've been a customer of Roland's Jewelers for a long time. You should too. They're so impressive. Their staff is expertly trained. I encourage you to visit Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville or visit RolandsJewelers.com. That's ROLLANDS, RolandsJewelers.com. Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust this holiday, just like I do.
The holidays. Back again. Visiting with family and friends this time of year can bring great joy and happiness. But it also can unfortunately bring stress, hypertension, and overeating, all of which can make your blood pressure skyrocket. High blood pressure is one of the world's leading risk factors for death and disability, and often leads to stroke, heart attack, and kidney damage. That's why Chicago's very own Ira Antelis developed 120 Life, a juice drink and powder that lowers your blood pressure naturally. I'm drinking it, I love it, and it works like a charm for me. And for those with diabetes, the powdered form of 120 Life has just 1 gram of sugar. If you suffer from high blood pressure around the holidays or whenever, give 120 Life a try. It's a fantastic alternative to pharmaceutical drugs. Order today at 120life.com. That's 120life.com. Use coupon code LIBERTY at checkout. Save 15%. From all of us at 560 AM, my friends at 120 Life, have a wonderful holiday season, and please don't overeat.
Long day. Time to charge up.
Hey, just like my delivery truck.
Even kids know to keep business moving forward, it's time to make the switch to electric vehicles. Whether you have one van or a whole fleet of trucks, resources are available to help you make the changes that make sense.
Let's go.
Beep, beep.
Go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
Active Campaign LLC seeks senior software engineer to architect scalable, high-performance cloud-native applications leveraging technologies. Requires bachelor's or foreign education equivalent in computer science or computer engineering and 6 years experience as a senior software engineer or related occupation with application development experience using Java and Java frameworks. Telecommuting position performed anywhere in the U.S. Email cover letter and resume with job code SSESS in the subject line to Christina.Rojas@activecampaign.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, 'tis the season for giving. We'll tell you how you can help this holiday season. And also, Biden desperately trying to get the black vote, and he and Kamala Harris both stepped in it yesterday. You're going to have to hear this. Greatest bloopers ever. But now let's, but they're actually real life. Now let's head into that newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
A security guard shot and killed on the south side in a vigil held for a migrant boy who was killed. Bally's expanding to 24/7 operations at the Chicago casino. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
No more hostages get out until Israel backs off. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Hamas says today, publicly rejecting a new ceasefire deal until the war is over. However, Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv, where Hamas rockets were shot down again today.
They're saying something else privately. Just yesterday, Ismail Haniyeh, the leader of Hamas, flew to Cairo, Egypt, to continue conversations about a possible deal. It comes as Israeli forces say they are close to completing the high-intensity ground operations in northern Gaza.
And for the 102nd time since the war broke out, American forces were targeted by Iran-backed militants, but a rocket missed at an air base in Iraq. Republican Congressman Corey Mills tells Fox.
This is because they do not fear the Biden administration. They know there is no retaliation. There is no repercussions to this.
Now, the U.S. has launched a few retaliatory strikes at those militants. We're still waiting on the Trump appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court challenging the Colorado ruling, kicking the former president off the primary ballot there, claiming he violated a Civil War-era provision of the Constitution over his role in the Capitol riot. President Biden says the courts will decide, but
he certainly supported an insurrection. And no question about it. None. Zero.
California state officials are considering a similar attempt in that state. But the former president's not been charged with the crime of insurrection in his 2020 election indictments, and he remains by far the Republican frontrunner. In a new poll before that ruling,
former President Trump has 52% among likely Iowa Republican caucus goers in the latest Fox Business poll. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis comes in with 18%, and former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley has 16%.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal.
As far as the issues go, 38% said economic issues are the most important ones, followed by immigration.
The day after prisoner swap with Venezuela released 10 people the U.S. says were held there illegally. One of them, known as Fat Leonard, is behind bars here, expected in court today. Leonard Francis fled the U.S. last year before he could be sentenced in a multi-million-dollar U.S. Navy bribery scheme. America's listening to Fox.
8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. 4 face murder charges in the deaths of 2 teens in Glenview in August. Officers found 16-year-old Jose Guzman Esquivel and 19-year-old Carlos Guzman Esquivel with gunshot wounds on August 19. Both died before investigators learned that Jose Guzman Esquivel got into a fight with Carlos Miranda in July. Following that brawl, Miranda and a juvenile shot and killed the victims outside an apartment complex. No one is in custody after a security guard was shot and killed on Chicago's South Side. Shooting happened yesterday in the 700 block of East 87th near the Chatham Village Square Mall, family identifying him as Fontaine Harris. Community members remembering the 5-year-old who died in a migrant shelter in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood this weekend.
And we're here for a preventable death of a 5-year-old child because the favorite staffing people who are inside the building next to us did not know how to respond to a medical situation. Favorite Staffing is receiving millions of dollars in private contractor money to provide care, and they are not meeting the mark, and we want them gone.
The mayor's office says the child suffered a medical emergency at that shelter on Sunday. 3 are charged with murder in the brutal killing of a woman earlier this month in Riverdale. Danielle Banks was found dead in the street December 9. Following report of a fire, Scotty Job Scott, Keith Bassett, and Latoya Millens faced charges accusing them of beating and stabbing the victim to death before setting her body on fire. Chicago's casino will soon be open 24 hours. Bally's Chicago granted approval to expand to a 24/7 operation beginning next Wednesday. The Bulls, 124-108 victors over the Lakers here in Chicago. College hoops, Northwestern, a win over Arizona State, 65-46. The news, a service of In Grace with Pastor Jim Scudder Jr., now heard Sunday morning at 6:30 on AM 560. 8:04, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. It is a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. And now the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are higher, pointing to a turnaround for stocks after yesterday's sell-off. Henry Allen, strategist at Deutsche Bank, says the wave of selling yesterday happened around 90 minutes before stocks closed in the U.S., and there was not an obvious catalyst that was responsible. Safety regulators in Norway are investigating suspension failures in Tesla cars. Reuters says the Norwegian Public Roads Administration has been having discussions with Tesla for more than a year about lower rear control arms breaking on Tesla's Model S and X cars. The agency could recommend replacement of the parts if the probe determines they pose a serious risk. BlackBerry shares are down 2%. The cybersecurity company reported a wider loss in the recent quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda, invested in you.
Mike Gallagher doesn't find it difficult.
It is really strange to hear people say, gosh, Mike, good for you standing up against anti-Semitism. Gosh, Mike, this is really bold of you to defend the Jewish people. How can you not? It's not hard. This should not be difficult for anybody.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
'Tis the season for something fun to do with your crew. Load them into the family truckster and head to Gobert's Farm in Pingree Grove, where there are 2 separate light shows for families to experience and love. The Gobert's Christmas Drive-Thru Light Show is open now and sure to dazzle. A perfect outing for friends, family, or a cool date night. Take in the wonder of it all. Watch the lights blink and dance to choreographed music while you drive through the path. Dancing penguins, falling snowflakes, reindeer running through the field, a tunnel of lights, and more kick off your perfect Christmas adventure. The Larson Christmas Light Show you know and love from Campton Hills is on the Gobert's Farm. Enjoy 30 minutes of spectacular lights, special effects, and surprise character appearances. Enjoy both Christmas light shows in one night. Pricing for both shows is per vehicle, and online tickets are required. All forms of transportation are welcome, including limos and party buses. Tickets, pricing, and hours are online at goberts.com. Enjoy the holidays at Gobert's Farm in Pingree Grove, Illinois.
And Doug. With Liberty Mutual, you can customize and save hundreds on your car insurance. But what to buy with those savings? Yep, I bought a sound effects machine.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. The holiday season should remind us that faith and family are the most important things in life. And we hope that you succeed in coming together this holiday season with those you love and in the process creating some generational memories. Holidays have this magical power to magnify small things to ever greater memories over time. What a return on investment. Happy holidays.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Springfield area attorneys. 2815 Old Jacksonville Road, Suite 103, Springfield, Illinois, 62704.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Lee Gifford, and I've been around a long time. Every one of us, as we age, realizes that things are changing in our bodies, in the world around us. Lots of times I don't like what's happening, so what can I do about it? Well, the one thing we can do is pray, right? The other thing we can do is take better care of ourselves. I do that by taking Balance of Nature because I'm not really good at nutrition. I'm too busy, I'm on the run, and I don't eat enough vegetables, and I certainly don't eat enough fruit. And when I take Balance of Nature, I can feel good that I've done something for myself that I can actually control. So take control. Get Balance of Nature.
Celebrate Christmas with us. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive holiday offer by using discount code KLG.
8:09. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Zion, an accident, Sheridan and 33rd this morning. DuSable Lakeshore Drive showing up northbound with delays between Bryn Mawr and Hollywood. Dan Ryan, locals jamming up inbound between 47th and Roosevelt. The Stevenson at 37 minutes, 3:55 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. The Kennedy outbound jamming up Montrose to Harlem. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Steve Williams.
A cloudy day. We could pick up a shower later today, high 44. Rain and drizzle tonight, low 40. And then periods of rain tomorrow, the high 45. Drizzle Saturday morning, then cloudy and mild, the high at 49. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
38 in clouds at O'Hare, 41 in clouds at Midway, 37 in Aurora, and cloudy along the lakefront, 39. Your next news update, 8:30, Chicago's Morning Answer, continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer
Merry Christmas.
on AM 560.
Ho, ho, ho.
The Answer.
There are some times when the kids go to bed and we just stay in the night crying, talking about how hard the life is for us. It's very hard to see my kids go to bed with hunger and not having something to give to them.
Oh, that was somebody who is benefiting from Food for the Poor. We've been working with Food for the Poor this entire holiday season to try and raise money for those less fortunate, those who don't know where their next meal is coming from. And John, I don't know if you know, I went to Haiti one year because they help moms and kids and dads, people in need in Latin America and the Caribbean and Haiti. But they really are just an amazing organization. They have these feeding centers that people come to. They walk from all over, some miles, every day to get there, get their buckets of rice and beans, and then walk back. And I know because I was filling up those buckets of rice and beans. And then when they're out of food, sorry, they're out. And then some are lucky that some will try and wait around for the next time that they're giving out food. But it's really a great organization. And with that, we welcome back to the program Paul Jacobs. He's the radio manager on-air fundraiser for Food for the Poor, the manager of that. Good morning, Paul. How are you?
Good morning and Merry Christmas to you both.
Good. So, Christmas is on Monday, and how about making a donation on behalf of a loved one who has everything?
Yeah, I love that because, there's a lot of things on our last minute to-do list, right? Everybody's got those piles of boxes stacking up at their front door from all these deliveries, and you're probably running out and seeing the long lines, but you're making the effort because this is the season where we turn away from ourselves and we turn towards someone else. We expand, if you will, our definition of community, and we give. And how about on your last minute list, you could provide a meal for a child? That would be transformative for families. The mom on the clip that you just heard, her name is Lourdes. I met her just a few months ago on my trip to Honduras. I was with our ministry partner on the ground meeting families, and she said something that struck me. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't have anything to give them to eat. And the reality is that no one can survive. None of these children can survive if nothing is done for them. And one of the tragic things about that mom and that family was her husband stood right next to her. He had been injured permanently on the job. He couldn't work. So this mom had to bear the weight of both her husband and her, working several days, literally almost 7 days a week. But what was touching to me was how she explained the struggle every single day that she goes through to provide food for her children. She had that stoic face, that mom face where it's tough, but I'm going to hold it together. But every time she explained something to me through the translator, she would look at those children and she'd look back at me and she'd look again at those children. And then I saw it. That one tear broke. And I recognized that mother was broken. Why? Because she didn't have enough food to feed her children. And this is why we can have the greatest giving day in all of AM 560 history today with 4 days left before Christmas.
And the number to call if you want to make a donation, we're asking for a one-time gift of $80. $80? When you go to the grocery store, your bill is a lot more expensive than $80. But with $80, John, you could feed 2 children for a year. For $320, you could feed 8 children for 1 year. And the impact your gift can have is just reaches out to those in need. And the number to call to make a gift of any amount, really, 844-862-4673. Again, that's 844-862-4673, or visit 560theanswer.com/food for the poor. And some people that have given, John gave $80. He's in Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, and he wrote, "We have plenty, they have nothing." Mm-hmm. Another person, Michael in Geneva, gave $200. Thank you so much, Michael. Said, "We're blessed. It's a privilege to help those, and particularly innocent children in desperate need of nourishment." So please keep it coming. And if you're a business owner or making the marketing decisions for your company, you could become a business benefactor. With that, you make a one-time donation of $2,500. And as a way of saying thank you, oh, by the way, tax deductible. I know a lot of you are looking for some tax deductions before the end of the year, because the end of the year is in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. To become a business benefactor, $2,500 tax deductible gift. Money goes to Food for the Poor. And as a way of saying thank you, we give you 40 one-minute commercials that air Monday through Friday right here on AM 560. And to become a business benefactor, call Ann Jeanette Natowski. But Ann Jeanette, 847-472-8951. I'll say it again, 847-472-8951. And we want to thank some of our business benefactors, CustomConstructionSystems.com, Chicago Gaelic Park, Riverside Club for Adventure and Imagination, the Telepro Group, we've got Spawn Financial, Troost Cemeteries, I probably butchered that, it might be Troust, it's Troost Cemeteries, Favia Dental, Favia Family Dental, that's my dentist, so thank you, Dr. Joe. Suburban Welding and Steel, the list goes on and on. Birdies for Kids, Dutch Farms, Broadway Family Dental, that's a Dan's dentist, but whatever. Tyson Roofing, General Parts, the list goes on and on, but this sells out every single year. 847-472-8951. We have about 10 business benefactor slots left to reach our goal, so let's get this done. And Paul, let's tell us too, a one-time donation of $2,500. What kind of impact would that have on the program?
I want you to just consider 62 children in your church, 62 children in your son or daughter's, Christmas cantata, their end of the year play, their Christmas play. 62 children on a stage, singing, laughing, being children. 62 children in a playground as you're in the carpool line waiting to pick up your little one with their tag that says your last name on there. That's exactly how many children that will eat every single day for the next year because of your generosity, you as a business. Reed gave a business benefactor gift, and I just love this comment. Reed basically gave a $2,500 gift, and he said, what we give in love, we receive in joy. There is on the other side a benefit to you because you get it's to tax deductible. It is a advertising schedule which is very lucrative and I mean in terms of what you get. But on the other side of that, there is a mother, there are families, there's an entire community with 62 children that will eat every single day and rejoice, not just this Christmas, but into Easter as well as Christmas next year this time because of you. And we have, we talked about the 10 business benefactor slots. It's interesting. That's the exact number that we're pacing behind. We're usually a little bit farther ahead by this time. It's no secret that every year we come back to you to be as generous as you can. And it's just remarkable how we've seen a response. But we are about 10 businesses pacing behind where we typically are at this time of the year. But it doesn't have to be. With 4 days left before Christmas, before you just kind of shut things down and center around your family and those you've invited in, can you please just expand your definition of community and compassion and extend yourself to these families, these 62 children?
Yeah, Paul, I just have one thing to say.
Yes.
I have a radio show here on Black and Right. I want to be a participant in this next year.
Amen.
I reached my radio show reached over 10 million plus people in the last month.
Wow.
10 million plus. And I would love to use that platform to feed as many kids as we possibly can. And that's right up my alley.
I don't know if you've ever been to Haiti.
Never been to Haiti. I have friends
that are
there.
You've been to Mexico. I mean, there's certain parts, third world countries. But Haiti, that is a different kind of poverty. Yeah. I have never, ever seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's wild animals eating garbage. There's just, because they had earthquakes and then they had political unrest. Their president was shot. And so what's it like there now in Haiti? Because I know that feeding center, isn't it for safety reasons, was that temporarily shut down?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Because of the civil unrest, because of economic decline, and a lot of the challenges that face Haiti right now. I mean, something as simple as the fact that you cannot afford fuel or cannot afford a public transportation to get you to the feeding center, that had to have changed. So Food for the Poor decided, working with our ministry partners on the ground, we had to do something different. So the hardworking men and women of our office, over 300 that work in the Port-au-Prince office, and Amy, you saw it was like a beehive of energy that just going back and forth to help these families. Those 2,600 ministries that used to come in every single day to get resources to go out are now establishing regional feeding centers. In other words, they're in their community, helping the families, keeping the families within their community, keeping the families together so that we can then really, through creative methods, where we can't take roads, we basically arrange for a barge to take it by sea. And where we can't literally get across a highway, we'll airlift. There are very, I call them my heroes. There are a couple of men that are truck drivers with our Food for the Poor Port-au-Prince office that just recently in a conversation I was having with our executive director down there, he said these men left their families during the holidays to get as far as they can with a convoy of food, stopped on the side of the road where it was safe, overnighted and slept in their trucks, and began again at the crack of dawn to get that food to these regional feeding centers. This is the level of commitment that these men and women, and also, what you're fueling with your generous gifts and donations, so that the families, the ministries, the pastors on the ground can help these families and children survive.
844-862-4673. That's where you can make a donation. A gift of any amount would be very much appreciated. And it takes seconds. You call, boom. They're not messing around. They'll take your information. They'll take your credit card. Thank you so much. You're done. And you can even tell the operator when you call, I want to make this donation on behalf of my mother or my well-fed kids or grandkids, and it's great. So again, 844-862-4673 or visit 560theanswer.com/food for the poor. And again, it's our last push for this year as we wind down this year. And Paul, thank you so much for all that you do. You're such a wonderful human being, and you have a great heart.
I am grateful for all of you. Merry Christmas and God bless you all.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
'Tis the season to think boating. Yes, Freedom Boat Club is the world's original and largest members-only boat club, now with 20-plus locations near you throughout greater Chicagoland, Wisconsin, Northwest Indiana, and Southwest Michigan. Plus 375 nationwide and global locations. Join Boat in Freedom's warm weather harbors now and think spring. Your membership enables access to their massive fleet of late model boats, slipped, insured, stored, maintained, cleaned, and ready for your use. Just pick the location of choice, reserve a boat, show up at the dock, and go boating. Membership includes training to enhance boating skills and comfort level at the helm. It's never been easier to give the gift of boating. Imagine the smile on the face of your loved ones when they realize they just became boaters. Joining is easy. Go to freedomboatclub.com, find a location near you, zoom in on the map, and select the location that works best for you. That's freedomboatclub.com or call 888-781-7363. At Freedom Boat Club, boating season never ends. Merry Christmas. All right, I'm getting it out of my teeth right now, my Balance of Nature. Crack 6 capsules over warm water, and voila. I love it because it coats my throat, and I don't like those capsules. I just like the real stuff that's inside. It's fruits and veggies, 31 different fruits and vegetables. They take the fruits and veggies and turn it into powder after an advanced vacuum cold process, don't you know, which stabilizes the maximum nutrient content. So feel good that you're doing something for yourself. John Anthony over there.
Yeah.
Show us what you have. He loves the Balance of Nature fiber and spice. And how do you make this work?
I told you I juice lemons and apples and carrots, and then put some blueberries and some kale. Put it in the blender, drink it, and it's great. Add this fiber and spice, and I'm telling you, I feel great.
How long have you been doing fiber and spice?
2 months now, and I ran out, and so I was like, I was hoping there was a can here.
Oh, we have cans.
Yeah,
we will give you fiber and spice. Fill up the whole car with it. It's that good. 800-246-8751 is the number to call. First timers do get a can of that fiber and spice for free. 35% off their order and free shipping. So give it a try. Be proactive. And when you give your body the best possible fuel, you do have more energy. 800-246-8751. Discount code Chicago or online at balanceofnature.com. Discount code Chicago.
Do you have a home remodeling project you'd love to get done? This is your opportunity to lock in this year's pricing with Chicago's Design Build Dream Team. Forever Remodeling is now offering exceptional savings. Simply sign on by December 31st to avoid any price increases next year. At Forever Remodeling, their expert designers and installers will turn your dreams into reality. Act now and you'll not only protect yourself from future price increases, but also beat the rush and secure a preferred spot in their schedule. Call 847-809-3355 or visit foreverremodeling.com. Highly skilled to design and build.
Everybody needs an edge. The other guy is working on his edge right now, whether you have one or not. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low historically, and individual T levels in men decline 1% every year with age. There's a new champion of natural testosterone boosters, and it's called CHOQ. CHOQ. 100% natural herbal extracts with game-changing effects on your energy, mood, and focus. CHOQ Daily's main ingredient has been clinically studied to boost testosterone 20% in 90 days. Supercharge your masculinity with higher T and a massive boost of energy by taking CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack every day. Take the 90-day CHOQ Challenge and reap the benefits of the reigning champion of natural men's health with CHOQ's Male Vitality Stack. For a very limited time only, CHOQ, C-H-O-Q, is giving our listeners a 30% discount with promo code USA. That's CHOQ.com, code USA, for 30% off while supplies last.
A human catastrophe is closing in. Nobody knows how far this one is going to go. You can feel the heat as tension is rising globally. War is expensive. Open a Noble Gold Investments IRA today, and you can claim a free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin. Just use the promo code GOLD. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Amy Jacobson and Dan Proft here, and we want to tell you about an opportunity for you to promote your business and to make a difference this Christmas season.
We're talking about our Food for the Poor Business Benefactor Program. We've partnered with Food for the Poor to provide life-saving food for thousands of children and their families in Latin America and the Caribbean during this season of economic decline, unemployment, and rising food costs.
Food for the Poor is working with local partners to make sure these children and their families get the food they need to survive. And guess what? Your business can be a part of the solution. Become a Food for the Poor business benefactor by making a $2,500 tax-deductible donation to Food for the Poor. And thanks to a generous match, that donation will help feed more than 30 children for an entire year.
When you do that, AM 560 will give you 40 one-minute commercials to air here on AM 560 The Answer between 5 a.m. and 8 p.m. Monday through Friday at no additional cost to you.
Call Anjanette Natowski at 847-472-8951. Again, that's 847-472-8951. Or go to 560theanswer.com and click on the Give Food banner.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, we got some text messages we have to get through real quick, and we always thank you for helping us out. John and Amy, Sean LaFord is part of the problem. Sorry, can't stand the guy. Interesting conversation, though. Glad you had him on. It was a good example of why Illinois is in such dire straits. He talks out of both sides of his mouth, but signed garbage legislation that's destroying communities and lives across the state of Illinois. Ford can go pound sand.
Ooh. She did the pound sand.
With the pound sand, that's bringing it. Do you have any text messages over there?
No.
No?
I can.
Okay. All right. So Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, I don't know if you've noticed, but they've been out the late night circuit, like Conan O'Brien.
Joe Biden?
Yeah, Conan O'Brien interviewed him.
Yeah.
And it was, but then he was in Milwaukee yesterday.
Yeah.
And he did the old, when he was done speaking, he did this. And then he turned around and he put his hands out like, where's Jill? Conjecture on my part.
Oh, God.
And then he started walking toward flags in the back. He just didn't know where he was going. But he's trying to be down with the struggle. He's trying to get the black vote. Are you ready? This is so embarrassing.
I come from a state that has the 8th largest black population in the country. And as they say, the saying goes, where I come, you brung me to the dance early on.
Delaware has the 8th?
I think he's from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you brung me to the dance?
Yeah. Hey, they all do it. I ain't no ways tired, Hillary Clinton and AOC, they all do that, pander to the black people. And
Isn't
we just
that
eat it
insulting,
up.
though?
Hot sauce in your purse, Kamala.
Oh.
Come on.
She said that?
Who carries hot sauce?
I'm not
I love hot sauce. I don't carry it
I
with
love
me.
hot sauce, but I'm white. Is that bad? Should I not like hot sauce? I love hot sauce.
I thought you were Swedish, not white.
Oh,
Distinction.
Ish. And Kamala, I don't know what this is. This is she was on with oh my God, Lawrence O'Donnell.
Oh.
Talking about the election. You ready?
Yeah.
Here's your backup. One heartbeat away from the presidency.
I have been fortunate and blessed to, during the course of being vice president, have many situations where it becomes clear to me that there are, people of every age and gender, by the way, who see something about being the first that lets them know they don't need to be limited by other people's limited understanding of who can do what.
What? She put words together that didn't go together. Those words didn't match up with each other.
She makes me feel sane. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, did you see it? The Obama movie.
Oh, yes, I did.
And it's called?
Leave the world behind. Leave the people. I guess I want to leave the people, right?
Leave the world behind. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Well,
I mean, in
but
the
it's
sense,
just we'll talk about it because a former president producing something like that. What does he know that we don't know?
All the secrets.
We'll explain. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
8:31, 41 degrees and cloudy skies. The UN Security Council will again try today to pass a resolution calling for a so-called humanitarian pause in the Israel-Hamas war. Colorado Republican Party is hitting back at its state Supreme Court for its decision to keep former President Donald Trump off the 2024 state primary ballot. The Supreme Court in Colorado deciding in a 4-3 vote on Tuesday that Donald Trump violated the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban, in their opinion, on January 6, 2021. President Biden agrees and believes Donald Trump is an insurrectionist.
You saw it all. Now, whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. But he certainly supported an insurrection.
Trump has been charged in connection with January 6, but has not been convicted. The president did not weigh in on the Colorado Supreme Court decision. U.S. is agreeing to a prisoner swap deal with Venezuela. Savoy Wright, one of 6, arriving in San Antonio this week as part of that agreement.
Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, free at last. Very emotional, exciting, grateful. So much gratitude for the moment, for the United States of America, for all of you, and for the opportunity to come home.
Venezuela has also agreed to extradite Leonard Francis, former defense contractor, who's at the center of one of the Navy's largest corruption cases. A storm loaded with Pacific moisture will dump heavy rain from Southern California to Arizona, about a month's worth of rain that could lead to some flooding problems. Rescue teams are still searching for missing people after an earthquake rocked northwest China, killing 137 on Monday. No one is in custody after a security guard was shot and killed on Chicago's South Side. It happened yesterday in the 700 block of East 87th near the Chatham Village Square Mall, family identifying him as Fontaine Harris. A Jewish advocacy group will air an advertisement during this weekend's Northwestern Utah Football Bowl game, following claims that Northwestern University has not been proactive about speaking out against anti-Jewish hate.
Northwestern University endorsing anti-Semitism.
The group Alums for Campus Fairness created print, TV, and social media ads calling out Northwestern and its president, Michael Schill.
When you have chance, intimidation, and disruption of classrooms saying from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, which is a call for genocide in Israel against Jews, a delegitimization of Israel's right to exist, that's still anti-Semitism.
Alum Richard Goldfarb. In a statement, Northwestern University denies the claims, saying it has taken several proactive steps to protect Jewish students. Chicago sports. Bulls have won back-to-back games, 3 of 4 as well, following a 124-108 victory over the Lakers here in Chicago. DeMar DeRozan leading all scorers with 27. Bulls host San Antonio later on tonight. While in college hoops, tonight, Bradley hosts SIU Edwardsville. UIC welcomes Incarnate Word, and Northern Illinois is home to Northern Iowa. The news is a service of Discover. If you like using debit over credit, shouldn't you also get rewarded? Well, now you can with Discover Cashback Debit. It's a checking account that rewards everyone with cashback on everyday purchases. No fees, period. Check out eligibility and terms at discover.com/cashbackdebit. Discover Bank, member FDIC. And a check of traffic and weather's on the way next on AM 560.
Brandon Tatum says we need to get the job done.
People on our side are telling us they have evidence. They have all these transactions between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden that only suggest one thing, and that's that there was some involvement there between Hunter and Joe. If somehow, some way that we don't produce that evidence, then the joke's on us. We do a lot of talking, but not producing enough evidence. And therefore we look stupid in the end.
The Officer Tatum Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Carol Platt-Liebau for townhall.com. Recent reporting in the Washington Post notes that President Biden is frustrated by his dismal approval ratings, as well as low poll numbers that show him trailing former President Trump. The president's irritation is understandable, but his problem isn't easily fixed. Happy talk about falling unemployment and slowing inflation mean nothing when voters are convinced Biden's policies have hurt them personally. Worse for the Biden campaign, presidential re-elections are referendums on an incumbent. A typical strategy would be to enhance Biden by driving up negatives on an unknown challenger. But Biden's likely opponent is a well-known quantity who survived every attack launched at him and still outpolls Biden. It all points to an election year likely to be marked by chaos driven by left-wingers desperate to keep Trump from the White House. Buckle up for a bumpy 2024.
The Pepperdine Graduate School of Public Policy, for those considering careers in politics and policy.
Listen up. Do you or a family member or friend have an outstanding student loan and don't know where to turn or how much you're required to pay? The rules around student loan forgiveness have never been as complex as they are right now. The wrong decision could cost you and your family tens of thousands of dollars in unnecessary loan payments. Attorney Ray Kaplan at Kaplan Law Firm is here to help you make the right decision. And they recently saved a radio listener over $145,000. Kaplan Law knows the rules, knows the laws, knows the regulations and loopholes inside out. Don't pay another cent until you've consulted with attorney Ray Kaplan. Call today to schedule a phone or in-person consultation. Call Kaplan Law Firm at 312-294-8989. That's 312-294-8989. Or visit financialrelief.com and click on Contact. Financialrelief.com, click on Contact. Kaplan Law Firm, 25 East Washington Street in Chicago.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Saturday mornings at 11. Visit healthquestradio.com.
8:37, and in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center, we're watching the Kennedy Express inbound, jammed up Addison to Chicago. Stevenson slowing up inbound Central to Kedzie, 35 minutes, 3:55 into DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Vehicle fire on the outbound Bishop Ford. Right lane is blocked between 130th and the Steel Bridge. And DuSable Lakeshore Drive is brake lights, stop and go northbound between Bryn Mawr and Hollywood. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Mostly cloudy, an afternoon shower cannot be ruled out. High 44, rain and drizzle and 40 overnight. 41 right now at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
All right, good Thursday morning on the eve of Christmas Eve. Amy Jacobson here, John Anthony, and Dan Proft. He is host of Black and Right Radio, Saturdays from 4 to 7 p.m. And you had 10 million people?
Last month.
Last month?
Yeah.
Well, you weren't here last month.
Ow.
He's been on a sabbatical, everybody.
But, you know.
I want to be you.
Well, you know.
That's all right. You deserve it.
We can't all be John Anthony.
You got to decompress.
John Anthony.
John Anthony, man of mystery. So you and I have been talking a lot because we both have watched Leave the World Behind on Netflix.
Not people.
What'd you say?
Leave the people behind.
Yeah, not leave the world behind, but it's an apocalyptic film starring Julia Roberts, her pea hat wearing husband who plays.
I couldn't believe. I'm
Ethan
sick
Hawke.
of that.
Why?
I'm sick of men being weak.
Well, wait,
in
let me
these
just
movies.
give the premise.
Okay, I'm
right?
sorry.
So, and they're not rich couple, but middle class couple. They live in the Bronx, and they decide to go on, like a little weekend getaway to a beach house, which is a beautiful beach house. Anyway, and the owners of the Airbnb come back because there was a blackout in New York, and he knew something and was being kind of cagey.
Right.
And some things happen. I don't want to give it all away, but you have Death to America flyers that were being dropped from Iran.
A drone.
By a drone. And it was what they did was they attacked the site, our power plants, but also everything went out first was they attacked our satellites that are up in the sky.
Right.
Or in outer space.
Cyber
not in
attack.
the sky. It was a cyber attack. Yes.
Yeah.
And then they had some racial overtones in it because the family that owns the house is black.
I'm asking for you to remember that
If the world falls apart, trust should not be doled out easily to anyone, especially white people. Even Mom would agree with me on that.
So there's racial overtones,
Yeah.
but that's why some people didn't want to see it because they thought it was too woke. And I said, no, there's just one part that's pretty
Right.
bad.
Right.
But what did you think?
I thought it was a good movie. My concern is that a former sitting president who knows all of the secrets of America is executive producer and actually added copious notes to how the movie should actually be portrayed. That concerns me. That really concerns me. Because, like I said, he knows all the secrets.
And he knows the world enemies. Or
Yes.
America's enemies,
Correct.
excuse me.
I'm wondering if this had to be vetted through somebody, I don't know, the Justice
The
Department.
vetters are the Obamas.
Yeah, but because what I'm saying is,
And that was the Michelle Obama scene right there.
what if some of the stuff that he knows he put in that movie? You know, I mean, because that movie pretty much laid out how to attack America, how to destroy America, except for the
A
last part,
three-step
the
program.
fighting from within. We'll kill each other. I mean, that'll happen anywhere.
That would happen. Gosh, I think we're giving away a
Oh,
lot. We
okay,
asked
yeah.
Justin to see it. But you were mentioning Ethan Hawke, the character he
Yeah,
played.
I
am among people like that.
Yeah.
I live in that world. I used to live with people who would be out there shoveling with me when a storm hit. We'd
Yeah.
uncover the drain so the water could get
Yeah.
down and our cars don't get flooded. Guess who I'm out there with now?
Same.
Me, myself, and I.
but
Because
this-
everybody outsources everything. There's no handyman for your house anymore.
Yeah.
They don't do the work.
Right.
They why pick a weed in your front lawn? Pay
Yeah.
somebody else to do it.
Not even just so much that his
He
mannerisms.
wasn't prepared.
But his mannerisms and, first of all, they tried to say that Julia Roberts and him were racist because they wouldn't let a black man in his own house. If I'm renting out, he ain't coming in. I'm sorry, they're not coming in there with me.
Doesn't matter what color
They're not.
they are.
I don't care what color.
But
You
they
are not.
did let them in.
Yeah, they wouldn't have come in mine. I'm sorry. Get back in your car. Go wherever you gotta go. Right now, I'm in this house. I've rented this house out. You're not coming in here. I don't trust people like that. So that's why I'll survive at the end of the world. If we ever come to the end of the world, I'm going to survive because I'm not trusting anybody. You're not coming in my house. You come up in my house, I'm going to shoot you dead. DRT, right there.
But the Ethan Hawke character, I mean,
He's weak.
Well, yeah, but he admitted it.
But
He
strong
wasn't
woman.
prepared.
Strong woman.
But he
weak
wasn't
man.
prepared.
Yeah, he wasn't.
And what scares me even more is after watching this film, learning that none other than Mark Zuckerberg has built a home with a $100 million bunker in the basement.
Oh, does he know
A
something?
$100 million bunker?
Yeah. Does he know something?
Apparently, he must know something, unless he just has gobs and gobs of money to throw away on something like that.
Yeah. See, I'm an end of the world type of guy. I think they're going to be zombies. Zombies will be among us.
Oh, stop.
The zombie. Well, we already got them now. Look at them when they're on drugs. They look like zombies, bent all over.
Oh, yeah. Turn.
What's that? Waka Flocka?
What's that
whatever.
stuff called, Justin?
Waka Flocka, whatever that drug
I thought
is.
Tonk or Tank. Oh my God, I can't even talk. Justin, help me out. Trank.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Wait,
look
how
like
do you know
zombies.
that? Wait. Wait, hold on now.
He
Wait a
knows
minute.
everything. All right. So again, the whole premise of the movie though started with a cyber attack, and with more on cyber attacks, real world stuff. Let's welcome back to the program Gordon Chang, author of The Coming Collapse of China and the Great U.S.-China Tech War. And we want to mention his Twitter handle is at Gordon G. Chang. Again, that's Gordon G. Chang. And he wrote a column. Terrifying hacks on a critical infrastructure have arrived. America isn't ready. How apropos for today. Good morning, Mr. Chang. How are you?
I'm fine, Amy, and thank you, John.
Good morning.
By any chance, did you see the Netflix film Leave the World Behind?
No, I didn't. So I was very interested in your description of it. And it sounds so gruesome that I probably am not going to watch it because it's very close to reality or what could very well happen. Because we do have unprotected networks.
Okay, and can you describe? I know you wrote an article about terrifying hacks on critical infrastructure has arrived. Where is it happening in America?
So, for instance, on November 25th, an Iranian group, probably state back, took down the water system of Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, which is near Pittsburgh. Now, through manual operations, people were able to get the system back up, but it was a critical vulnerability. And those same hackers subsequently hit 4 other water systems. But of course, we've had bigger hacks on infrastructure. So for instance, the Colonial Pipeline hack of 2021, where Russian ransomware attackers were able to take down the pipeline system, which of course disrupted gas supplies on the East Coast and also disrupted airline operations. And there's a list goes on and on. But the real issue here is not so much that there are people who are attacking our infrastructure. It is that our networks are undefended and they are easy pickings. And we've known about this problem for a very long time, but have done relatively little about it.
Well, why aren't we ready? We're the most powerful country in the world. Why aren't we stepping up, as Mayor Lightfoot would say, and be more prepared?
Well, to a certain extent, we're oblivious. You could ask the same question. Why were 19 terrorists able to take down, take 5 planes and take down 2 buildings in New York, 1 in Washington, D.C., when we had all the signs that this was going to happen, and when Osama bin Laden was continually talking about attacking America? And then the question is, well, why were we attacked on December 7th, 1941? This is, I think, inherent in the United States, that we believe that we are invulnerable, that others aren't going to attack us. And even when others say they're going to attack us, we still do not pay attention. We are determined not to pay attention.
So what if they do take down a water plant? I mean, this disruption of critical infrastructure, then what? I mean, will they make demands in order you pay a certain amount and then we'll turn your water supply back on?
Well, on the November 25th attack, it was not ransomware. So they just wanted to disrupt. And here the motive was that they hit a piece of equipment that was obtained from Israel. And so the Iranian hackers had been going after this particular programmable logic controller in other water systems around the world. So we should have known it was coming. But this really was related to the Gaza war. So in a sense, the war in the Middle East has come to the United States.
Yeah, she wrote another article about that too, that the world is at war. So what can we do to protect ourselves, and what could Mr. Biden do, or the president do?
Well, first of all, I mean, they're very simple technological fixes, but really this is a political issue. So for instance, we know the Chinese have switched the focus of their cyber attacks away from data theft and espionage to taking down critical infrastructure. I think that really what we need to do is impose severe costs on China in a non-cyber realm, because we don't want to disclose how good we are at cyber offense. So really what I think we should be doing is taking something that China really wants, taking it away and saying, stop this, or we are going to continue to impose these costs. And I think that it's really, in the sense, you go around country to country and find out what they want and make sure they can't have it. This is going to be difficult for us. It's not an easy process, but we are critically reliant on our networks, and we are very vulnerable. So I think we have no choice. And unfortunately, this president and his predecessors have not taken the steps that were obvious. And obviously at this point, we're going to be rushing to do something. Right. Fortunately, on December 15th, the 15th of this month, the SEC has issued some rules which will have very wide-sweeping effects on how public companies deal with cyber attacks. At least that's a start.
Yeah. Mr. Chang, as I look at this immigration issue, they said we've had a lot of Chinese nationals come into our country. You have a lot of people from Iran coming into the country. Could they be coming here to set up shop to attackers? And is it easier to launch a cyber attack within the borders of America, or distance has it's not about distance or space?
Well, John, a couple things. First of all, I do believe that they are operatives coming across our border. Border Patrol knows some of the Chinese have links to the Chinese military. We have seen other people come across the border with explosive devices that would be suitable for terrorism. There have been terror watch list individuals who have been nabbed at the border. Obviously, some of them have got across without our knowing. They're the getaways or gotaways. China has had that secret biological weapons lab in Reedley, California that was discovered this year.
Wow.
I think that really what these saboteurs were doing would be to link up with a facility like that, because that facility had at least 20 pathogens and almost 1,000 mice that had been genetically engineered to spread disease. So you can put two and two together to see what's happening. On your second question, I think it probably would be easier to launch a cyber attack in the U.S. because they wouldn't be coming from Chinese IP addresses, for instance. And so it would be maybe a little bit harder to detect. But clearly, when your networks are undefended, it really doesn't matter where the attacks are coming from.
Why wasn't that on the news that China a lab was discovered in California? I mean, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Oh, no, they barely touched on it, but they did touch on it.
That's a national security issue.
I know. We talked about it on the show when it happened. It's crazy. All right, Gordon Chang, we're going to have to leave it there for today. You can follow him on Twitter at Gordon G. Chang, author of The Coming Collapse of China and the Great U.S.-China Tech War. Mr. Chang, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Amy and John.
Thank you,
I
sir.
really appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to you both and to your listeners.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer
Santa's coming to town. Oh, my God.
on AM 560.
Santa here? I know him.
The Answer.
Long day. Time to charge up.
Hey, just like my delivery truck.
Even kids know to keep business moving forward, it's time to make the switch to electric vehicles. Whether you have one van or a whole fleet of trucks, resources are available to help you make the changes that make sense.
Let's go.
Beep, beep.
Go to ComEd.com/clean to learn more about how going electric connects us to a better way of doing business and a better future for generations to come.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
And this is Brian Duncan, co-founder of Signature Bank. We wish you the very best this holiday season from Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank.
Signature Bank helps local businesses succeed. Let Signature Bank turn your business vision into reality this holiday season. Visit signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All right, now's the time when structural problems can start in your home. If you're noticing new cracks in your walls or brickwork, sinking ground or concrete, sagging floors, gaps underneath baseboards, sticking doors and windows, these are all symptoms of structural foundation problems, and it's time to call Permaseal Basement Systems. All too often, homeowners ignore these signs and then experience even bigger problems later on, which in turn cost way more to fix. Call Permaseal today. 800-421-7325, 800-421-SEAL. You can rely on an honest, accurate, and free evaluation from Permaseal's trained experts. For over 41 years, Permaseal has been Chicagoland's and Northwest Indiana's most trusted contractor for basement and foundation repairs. They've earned an A-plus rating from the BBB and have a 4.9-star Google rating. It's a thing. For a free, thorough inspection, call Permaseal today, 800-421-SEAL, or visit permaseal.net.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Lee Gifford, and I've been around a long time. Every one of us, as we age, realizes that things are changing in our bodies, in the world around us. Lots of times I don't like what's happening, so what can I do about it? Well, the one thing we can do is pray, right? The other thing we can do is take better care of ourselves. I do that by taking Balance of Nature because I'm not really good at nutrition. I'm too busy, I'm on the run, and I don't eat enough vegetables, and I certainly don't eat enough fruit. And when I take Balance of Nature, I can feel good that I've done something for myself that I can actually control. So take control. Get Balance of Nature.
Celebrate Christmas with us. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive holiday offer by using discount code KLG.
urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-299-7878. That's 800-299-7878. 800-299-7878.
Relief Factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. Relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
Stop overpaying for wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk saves the average family about $1,000 a year on the most dependable 5G network in the U.S. You can get unlimited talk, text, and plenty of high-speed data for just $30 a month. If you're ready to cut your wireless bill in half, dial pound 250 and say keyword spend less, and you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Again, dial pound 250 and say spend less, and make the switch to Pure Talk today.
'Tis the season to think boating. Yes, Freedom Boat Club is the world's original and largest members-only boat club, now with 20-plus locations near you throughout greater Chicagoland, Wisconsin, Northwest Indiana, and Southwest Michigan, plus 375 nationwide and global locations. Join Boat in Freedom's warm weather harbors now and think spring. Your membership enables access to their massive fleet of late model boats, slipped, insured, stored, maintained, cleaned, and ready for your use. Just pick the location of choice, reserve a boat, show up at the dock, and go boating. Membership includes training to enhance boating skills and comfort level at the helm. It's never been easier to give the gift of boating. Imagine the smile on the face of your loved ones when they realize they just became boaters. Joining is easy. Go to freedomboatclub.com. Find a location near you, zoom in on the map, and select the location that works best for you. That's freedomboatclub.com or call 888-781-7363. At Freedom Boat Club, boating season never ends. Merry Christmas.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, tomorrow we're going to sing You Better Not. Come on. Just warm up. Give a little effort. Santa Claus. Don't make me take your fiber and spice away from you. From Balance of Nature. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, making us a part of your lives. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions, favorite memories of 2023. We're just going to have a fun show, and John Anthony is going to sing a Christmas carol with me. Oh, yes, he is.
Yay!
Go have yourselves a glorious day. Thanks to Justin Kosick. Happy birthday. Who's
Happy
our
birthday.
technical producer, and Quinn McCarthy, our executive producer. Now let's head into that newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
3 are charged in a brutal Riverdale killing. Texas sends migrants to Chicago on a private plane, and the Bulls beat the Lakers for their second straight win. WIND Chicago News Time, 9.
No deal until there's no more war. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's Hamas's message today as Israel keeps targeting militants in Gaza.
Hamas saying that no hostages will be released until the war is officially over.
There have been talks in Egypt to broker another ceasefire as the UN Security Council keeps working on a resolution to call for the end of fighting to get more aid into Palestinian civilians. But Fox's Trey Yingst also reports from Tel Aviv. Another barrage of Hamas rockets were fired and shot down over the city.
More than 300,000 people here heading to bomb shelters. 76 days into this conflict, the factions still have maintained their ability to fire these salvos toward major population centers.